Hey guys, good afternoon and welcome to this live doubts clarification session on quantitative aptitude brought to you by TalentSprint. Well, like you all know, this is yet another session brought to you by TalentSprint where you can get your doubts from the quantitative aptitude section clarified. All you have to do is post your question in the chat box that is available right beside the video screen, and I'll share my screen with you and solve the questions one after the other using the smartest method possible, right? Remember, the questions have to be from quantitative aptitude alone and not from the other sections like reasoning or, for that matter, English language, right? And it will be great if you copy the question exactly the way it is given in the source that you're looking at, so that it is easy for us to follow it up and solve it for you, right? Sometimes it so happens that when you try and put the question in your own words, the meaning changes, and because of which we may not be able to solve it properly, or we may not be able to solve it at all, right? So please ensure that you are copying the question or typing the question exactly the way it is given in whichever book or source that you're following. And if at all the query that you have is from any of our materials, like the reference material or for that matter the workbook, you don't have to type the complete question. Just give the reference, like quantitative aptitude workbook of profit and loss, question number 23, right? Or reference material, topic time and distance, question number 14. Right, so we'll probably pull it up and solve it here, right? Or you can copy the question and post it here, right? Even that wouldn't be difficult for you. All right, so let's quickly get started, right? And I know that you are, curious about the SBI clerk's refresher, right? When is it actually going to start? I've been getting these questions through emails and through chat over the last few days. Let me tell you, we'll be starting the SBI clerk's refresher sessions very soon. Keeping in mind that the exam is scheduled in the month of May, all right? And the SSC CGL Tier 1 exam refresh is anyway going on. We have already done 3 sessions so far, and the rest of the sessions will be done in the subsequent weeks, all right? I think we are meeting again on Monday at 4 p.m. for the general intelligence and reasoning part 2. So this is just an update about what is happening. I hope all of you have completed your application for the SBI clerk's exam, right? Please do not delay it for the last day, right? Don't postpone that. Finish the application process at the earliest possible, so that you don't have those difficulties of last minute server down, unable to complete the application and all that, right? So complete your application as soon as possible and start your preparation right away. All right, so let's quickly get started now. What I'm going to do is share my screen with all of you. I can see that there's a lot of questions coming in, right? The chat is continuously moving with questions from questions from many of you, right? I think the recent one is from Rajkumar, a sum of money invested at compound interest. Anyway, we'll be taking up the questions in a sequential order, right? The way it comes, first come, first serve, first in, first out. So let me share my screens with all of you with the questions there, and let's look at the solutions. So here we go, sharing my screens. So I hope all of you are able to see the shared screen without any difficulty, right? If there's any challenge, please set it yourself, right? We are streaming in the, you will have to change it at your end. So moving on now, first question of the day. Now this has come from Ram Shankar, right? Let us look at the question. It says A takes twice as much time as B or thrice as much time to finish a piece of work. Working together, they can finish the work in 2 days. B can do the work alone in. I think there is some error in this question. He's saying A takes twice as much time as B or thrice as much time to finish a piece of work. Working together, they can finish the work in 2 days. B can do the work alone in. You're saying the answer is 6 days. The query you have is, in the above question, can I take that that A's capacity is equal to twice the B's capacity? No, this is a blunder. A's capacity is twice B's capacity. Understand? He says A takes twice as much time as B. A takes twice as much time. A takes more time. Time taken by A is greater than time taken by B. What does it mean? The capacity of A will be lesser than the capacity of B. You know that time and capacity are reciprocal to each other, right? The more time you take, lesser the capacity you have, or lesser your capacity, more time you would take, or higher your capacity, lesser the time that you take. So clearly, capacity of a person or efficiency of a person whatever you call it, efficiency or capacity, is inversely proportional to the time required. So you cannot take A's capacity is equal to twice. A's capacity is half here. Why is it half? Because A takes twice the time. See, time taken is doubled, so capacity would be half. You're able to follow, Ram Shankar? A takes twice as much time. So time taken by A, it says time taken by A. Let us assume time taken by small a. Small a is equal to 2 times small b. Assuming that A and B, small a and small b are the times required. Then capacity of A. What is capacity of A? Capacity of A is what? 1 by A. Capacity is 1 by A. Will be half of capacity of B. So this is what we need to consider. Capacity of A is half of capacity of B. It will be great if you guys quickly acknowledge whether you are able to follow the points or not, so that I can keep moving to the next questions at the earliest possible. However, I think there is something fishy here. You're saying A takes twice as, with respect to your query, I've clearly answered, right? You cannot take it as twice, it should be half, right? But the question seems to be incomplete. You're saying A takes twice as much time as B, or thrice as much time to finish a piece of work. What is this? Or thrice as much time to finish a piece of work? So either you have not copied it completely, question given the way it is wrong. So what you do is just solve the question keeping this point in mind, right? Time is doubled, so capacity would be half. I'm moving on to the next one. I hope Ramshankar has followed this. Let me move on to the next question. Okay, so here we go. The next question has come from Shaurya Pratap. Shaurya Pratap has got a query on trigonometry. Let us take it up. What is the minimum value of sine square theta plus cos square theta plus secant square theta plus cosecant square? Have we not solved this type of question? Sine square theta plus cos square theta plus secant square theta plus cosecant square theta. You should also give me options, Shaurya Pratap, right? In fact, I would request you guys to give me the options for all the questions, because a smart way of answering questions from quantitative aptitude is to go by elimination method in many cases, right? Elimination or substitution. So options are very much needed. Okay, it gives us a better way of solving the question. This way, I have to follow the regular method. I have to do the complete question there, right? So what is the minimum value? Okay, I think there is a query here from AKS. Where to find the videos of workbook? Where to find the videos of workbook? What are you asking? Let me just go back once. See, that is not a question that I'm trying to solve. It is just because it is like a regular query. Let me answer. I think AKS is finding it difficult. Way to find videos of workbook questions of DI. The way you find the videos of remaining topics, similarly, you'll find the videos of data interpretation also. The workbook question of DI, I've got the videos, right? For the workbook, you not the other. Anyway, back to this question. So he's asking us to find the minimum value of sine square theta plus cos square theta plus secant square theta plus cosecant square theta plus tan square theta plus cot square theta. Now I can also see Shaurya Pratap asking me, is this a band doubts clarification session or SSC doubt clarification session? Well, strictly speaking, this is a doubts clarification session for quantitative aptitude for both bank and SSC exam, right? You can post questions from questions relevant to both the exams. I usually say that post questions of trigonometry, geometry will have kind of exclusive sessions for this, but let me just quickly solve this, right? This is both a banking and a CGL doubts class, and that doesn't matter, Shubhranshu, you should post your question, right? Why is it bothering you? I would ideally recommend that we have exclusive sessions for these three topics: trigonometry, geometry, and algebra, which we will schedule during your refresher sessions. Let me quickly take it up. So sine square theta plus cos square theta. See, irrespective of theta, we know that sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So this part is simplified. Yes or no? Sine square theta plus cos square theta is 1. Right? It is not about minimum or maximum. Whatever be the value of theta, sine square theta plus cos square theta is 1. So that is done. If you look at this remaining 4 trigonometric ratios here, secant square theta and secant square theta, and let's consider what do we consider? Secant square theta plus, or we better do this thing. Instead of taking sine square theta plus cos square theta as 1, let us not do this. I'll just clear this up. Let us do it in a different way. Let us not go by the basic trigonometric identity. Instead, what we'll do is we'll take reciprocal of these trigonometric functions. See, we'll take them in pairs, sine square theta plus cos square theta, right? Now let us take them in pairs. We'll take sine square theta and cosecant square theta together. So sine square theta plus cosecant square theta, right? Then we will take secant square theta or cos square theta plus secant square theta, and let's take tan square theta plus cot square theta. So we have taken them in pairs of reciprocal functions. Now we know that when you look at sine square theta and cosecant square theta, these are like reciprocals, right? Reciprocals of each other. So what will be the answer? The minimum value will be 2 root AB. You remember that formula, shortcut formula that we discussed in the video, right? The given function here is I'm just generalizing it. If it is like ax plus bx dash, then minimum value is equal to 2 root AB, where x and x dash are reciprocal. Let me say reciprocal trigonometric ratios or trigonometric functions, right? So just apply that. So if you see x is sine square theta, x dash is cosecant square theta. These are reciprocal to each other, right? So what is a in this case? 1. What is b? B is also 1. So your minimum value for this part will be 2 root 1 into 1. Similarly for this function, it will be 1 into 1. Plus for this one, 2 root 1 into 1. You getting it? I think 2 plus 2, 6 has to be the answer. Root 1 into 1 is 1, right? So 1 plus 2 into 1, 2 plus 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2 plus 2, 6. So the minimum answer for this one, minimum value for this trigonometric expression would be 6, right? I mean, this is a very important observation. We have discussed this type of questions in the actual video, trigonometry video, and also in case of the special live session that we had for trigonometry, right? So just keep that in mind. I'm moving on to the next one. I hope Shaurya Pratap has followed this. Quickly moving on to the next question. Okay, I think I'll have to refresh my screen. Just give me a moment. Right, so first one done, second one done. Now comes the next one. Okay, this is from Richard. If cos squared dollar minus sine square dollar equals to tan square 2 at the rate, then cos square 2 at the rate minus sine square 2. Okay, basically some trigonometric function there. So let me write the expression. Let's see what happens. Cos square, let's take it as theta, right? Or let's take log as beta. Cos square beta minus sine square beta equals to tan square alpha. Remember, we are taking dollar as beta and we are taking at the rate as alpha, so that it is easy to read it out. Okay, so cos square beta minus sine square beta equals to tan square alpha. Then he's asking us to find out the value of cos square 2 alpha minus sine square alpha. This is equal to what? Cos square 2 alpha minus alpha equals to. Okay, so let us see what can be done. Cos square beta minus sine square beta equals to tan square alpha. Then will random substitution help? Yeah, I think, see, if you take beta as, let's take beta as 30. Okay, so this will be 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4. 3 by 4 minus 1 by 4 is 2 by 4, which is 1. This will not help, right? Had it been cos beta minus sin beta, you would have it. So let me not go by substitution. At least beta is 30 does not help. Or beta equals 30 may also help, no? Richa says cos square at the rate, not something. Okay, hold on. Let me just check it. I just saw some comment from Richa. Please correct the question. Cos square at the rate, not cos. What is it? Richard says cos. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. This 2 alpha will not come here. It is cos square alpha minus sin square alpha. Sorry about that. Yeah, my mistake. It was cos square at the rate, so cos square alpha minus sin square alpha. So what do we do? Any suggestions? What's the best way? Answers are 0, tan alpha, tan square beta, or 1. Cos square beta minus sin square beta equals to tan square alpha. Cos square alpha minus sin square alpha. If you divide. One minus tan square alpha. I'm just thinking about this. Give me a few seconds, Richard. I was trying to do random substitution, but that doesn't seem to be the best way, right? Do you think any value of beta will help us arrive at alpha? What can be done? Or I think it is better if I assume the value of alpha instead of assuming the value of beta. Let me just try it out. I think that is. Assume the value of alpha. Let us assume alpha is equal to 45. See what happens. Alpha is equal to 45. You getting it? So if alpha is 45, tan square alpha will be 1. Now when do you get cos square beta minus sin square beta as 1? Right? So can we say beta is equal to 0? Because cos 0 is 1, sin 0 is 0. So 1 minus 0 will give you 1. So which means if alpha is 45, then beta would be 0. Right? Now substitute here. Alpha is 45. So cos square alpha. So cos square alpha will be 1 by root 2 whole square minus sin square alpha. 1 by root 2 whole square. This will be equal to what? 0. Yes or no? So which means the answer is 0. Okay, so option A can be possible. See, we cannot say option A is correct because answer may be 0 or maybe in terms of some trigonometric function there. Tan at the rate. What is at the rate here? Alpha. Tan alpha. Tan 45 will be equal to what? 1. So option B cannot be the answer. Tan $2. See, tan $2 is nothing but tan 2 beta. Beta is 0. Tan 2 beta will be tan. Sorry, this is tan square beta. Tan square beta. Tan beta. Tan 0 is 0. Tan square 0 will be 0. This also will result in 0. And this is D. So answer should either be option A or option C. Rich, are you able to follow? Going by random substitution. I mean, instead of trying earlier, I was trying to substitute the value of beta. But finding out alpha using beta is difficult. So let us take alpha as 45 and from that calculate beta. So you have got the answer as, I mean, we know that there are only 2 answers possible, either option A or option C. Now let us see if some other substitution will help us. If I take, I know, I mean, you may not be very happy with this solution because some of you may want the regular way of solving it, but like we have discussed in special live sessions and our videos as well, most of these questions can actually be answered using substitution. So why not, right? So let us see some other substitution if that helps. Let's take alpha as 0. If you take alpha as 0, what happens? Tan 0 is 0, right? I'm taking another substitution now. I'll do the second substitution in red so that we can follow it easy. Let us assume alpha is 0. implies cos square beta minus sin square beta equals to 0. Yes or no? Which implies cos square beta equals to sin square beta, or cos beta equals to sin beta, which implies beta should be equal to 45 degrees. Yes or no? When are sin and cos equal? Only at 45 degrees. Both of them are root 2, 1 by root 2. So beta equals to 45 degrees. Now substitute this alpha equals to 0 here. So what will happen here? If you substitute alpha equals to 0, cos square 0 is 1 minus sin square 0 is 0. So answer should be 1, right? Answer should be 1. Is option A possible? Not possible. Option C, let us check. Tan square beta. What is beta? 45. Tan square 45. Tan square 45 will give you 1. You're getting it? This will become tan square 45. Tan square 45 is equal to 1. Right? So option C is definitely the correct answer. So Richa, I hope you have followed this. I know this is like a little lengthy. It took a little time because we did not start the right way. I started substituting the value of beta. Instead, substitute for alpha, so that it is easy to establish what beta is. You getting it? So one substitution will eliminate two options. The other substitution will eliminate the wrong one. Right? So answer is option C. Richa, I hope you have followed this. I am now moving on to the next question. Now, if you ask me the regular way of solving it using trigonometric ratios and all, I'll buy some time. I need some time for that because you see, we'll have to think of what exactly can be the best way. There is a plethora of all these formulae, right? So it may not be very easy to do it in one go, right? So if you still insist, you'll have to give me some time. Otherwise, we can move on. I'm clearing this up, moving to the next question. Next question is from Ram Shankar. What does it say? A boat travels 30 kilometers upstream in 4 hours. The speed of the water is 3 by 2 kilometers per hour. How long will it take to cover 21 kilometers along with the flow? Ram Shankar, why are you confused with such questions? I think this is a direct one, right? All you have to do is find out the speed of boat using the first part of the question, and then using that speed of the boat and speed of water, find out how long will it take to travel 21 kilometers. Let me quickly solve it. See, boat is going upstream. Upstream, what happens? Speed of the boat minus speed of the water equals to distance by time. So speed of the boat, let's say SB, speed of the water is given as 3 by 2. Distance traveled is 30, time is equal to 4. So how much will be the speed of the boat? Speed of the boat will be equal to 30 by 4 is 15 by 2. 15 by 2 plus 3 by 2 is 18 by 2. 18 by 2 is 9 kilometers per hour. That's it. Now, how long will it take to cover 21 kilometers along with the flow? Along with the flow means what? Downstream. See, this is upstream. This is upstream case. Now, second, he is asking us to go for downstream. What happens downstream? We'll take speed of plus speed of the water, distance traveled by time. So, what is the speed of the boat? We have calculated as 9. Speed of the water 3 by 2. So, 9 plus 3 by 2 equals to distance traveled is 21 kilometers. Time taken is equal to what? Simplify this now. So, from this time taken will be what? 9 plus 3 by 2 is 21 by 2, right? So 21 divided by 21 by 2. 21 divided by 21 by 2. This will result in 2 hours. What is confusing about this one? See, that is the reason I insist you to tell me where you have got stuck. This is a straightforward question. Just find out the speed of the boat using upstream equation. Use the same thing to get the time required for downstream. Right? And you cannot be going, see, I actually get disappointed not because you have posted an easy question. I get disappointed because you're not able to solve this easy question. If you have gone through the time and distance video, you would know that this is a sitter. This is a no-brainer, right? There's nothing complex about this one. So Ram Shankar, try it once again yourself before you post it here. I'm sure you'll be able to solve it yourself. Next question. Next one is from Akash Deep. The value of x satisfying. Ooh, you want me to solve this one? Options are given. The question has got only one variable. Substitute. Let me figure it out. I think you are asking me to find out square root of 5 plus x. See, the way you have given the bracket, it means it is 5 plus x into 1 by 3 equals to 3. Substitute. See, the values of x are given in the options, right? Akash, options have got the values of x, various possible values of x. Substitute one after the other and check which one satisfies. I mean, the way it is, x should be 12. I mean, from this one, x has to be 12 because, see, the right hand side is 3. So in the left hand side, under square root, we should have 9. We have already got 5 here, so this should be 4. X by 3 should be 4, which means x is equal to 12. But I don't think, is this the right way? Is this the correct way? The correct equation, the way I have written it here? See, I'm only trying to follow what you have given. Square root of 5 plus x into 1 by 3. Okay, Akash Deep says expression is x power 1 by 3. But you did not mention power here. Where is power here? You did not mention that, right? So be careful. That's the reason I said post it very clearly. You could have mentioned square root of x power 1 by 3. 5 plus x power 1 by 3 square root of this is equal to 3. What do you do? Square on both the sides. So we'll get 5 plus x power 1 by 3 equals to 9. X power 1 by 3 will be 9 minus 5, 4. Cube it on both the sides. 4 cube, which is 64. Why? Why is that you are posting such questions? I hope you have followed it. I'm moving on to the next one. Next one is from Shaurya Pratap. Tan alpha equals to n tan beta. Sin alpha equals to m sin beta. Then what is cos square alpha? Shaurya Pratap, we have discussed this question in the videos, right? Please refer our videos on trigonometry. As far as I remember, a similar question has been solved there. I remember exactly the same question. Even if it is not the same, a similar question has been discussed. And even if you do not refer the video, what do you do? Go by substitution. What is the best way of doing? Substitute random values. Follow the substitution method. See, if you look at it, he says tan alpha equals to n tan beta and sin alpha equals to m sin beta. He's asking us to find out cos square alpha. Substitute some value of alpha. Substitute some value of beta. Find out what is n and m accordingly. Substitute the same alpha here and then substitute m and n in the options and check which one satisfies. You're getting it? You wanted to do it? See, we have actually discussed the regular way of solving this, but smartly, what do? Let us assume alpha equals to, let's say alpha equals to 30, beta equals to 4, beta equals to 60. For the sake of eliminating all the wrong options, let us take these values. We can also take 45 and 45. Nowhere he has mentioned that alpha should not be equal to beta, right? So you can take 45 and 45 also, but let us try alpha equals to 13, beta equals to 60. So what happens? Tan alpha equals to n tan beta implies 1 by root 3 equals to n into root 3. From this, what's the value of n? 1 by root 3 into root 3, 1 by 9. Then he says sin alpha equals to m sin beta. Substitute sin alpha, sin 30. Sin 30 is how much? 1 by 2 equals to m into sin 60. Sin 60 is root 3 by 2. So what is the value of m from this one? 2 and 2 gets cancelled, m will be equal to 1 by root 3. So basically, by taking alpha as 30 and beta as 60, we have calculated the values of n and m. Now substitute the same values of n and m in all the options and check which one satisfies. What is he asking us to find out? Cos square alpha. Cos square alpha. What will be cos square alpha? Cos square 30. Yes or no? Because alpha is equal to 30. What is cos 30? Root 3 by 2. Right? Root 3 by 2 whole square will be 3 by 4. So basically, by substituting n equals to 1 by 9 and n equals to 1 by root 3, which option will give you 3 by 4? Whichever option gives 3 by 4, that's the answer. Like for example, let us take option 1. M square. So 1 by root 3 whole square divided by n plus 1. N plus 1 is 1 by 9 plus 1. So this is 1 by 3 divided by 1 by 9 plus 1 is what? 10 by 9. No. This is not 3 by 4. Is it 3 by 4? No, because this will be like 3 by 10. You're getting it? 3 by 10. So this is not possible. Option 1 is wrong. Substitute option 2. M square by n square. M square by n square. So 1 by root 3 whole square divided by n square. 1 by 9 whole square. So this is like 1 by 3 divided by 1 by 81. No, even this wouldn't satisfy. Substitute the same values in option 3. M square minus 1. M square minus 1. So I am directly writing it, right? M square is 1 by 3. 1 by 3 minus 1 divided by n square minus 1. 1 by 81 minus 1. I don't think even this would satisfy, right? This is like minus 2 by 3 divided by minus 80 by 81. No, option 3 is also ruled out. So option 4 has to be the answer. Substitute in option 4. I am doing it here. M square plus 1. M square plus 1 is what? 1 by 3 plus 1 divided by n square plus 1. Okay, I think I've committed a mistake here. This is 1 by 3. This is not 1 by 9. I'm so sorry. Sorry about this. This is 1 by 3. N is equal to 1 by 3. Sorry. So being too quick also is risky sometimes. So basically, you'll have to check the options once again. I think all the 3 verifications that we have done have gone wrong. N by 3. Let's substitute in the third option and see what happens. N equals to 1 by 3, right? So m square plus 1. Is m correct, by the way? M is correct. M is 1 by root 3 only. So m square plus 1, 1 by 3 plus 1 divided by n square plus 1. So 1 by 9 plus 1. So this will be like 4 by 3 divided by 10 by 9. 4 by 3 divided by 10 by 9. So it becomes 9 by into 9 by 10. 12 by 10. No. So option 4 definitely is wrong. I mean, this is not option 3. This is option 4. This is definitely wrong. You have to verify. I think do it once again. Shaurya Pratap, I think you have followed the method. Please substitute the values again in option 1, 2, and 3 and check. You getting it? I mean, our verification earlier for option 1, 2, and 3 was wrong because we considered a wrong value of n. So check it once again, right? Check only 1, 2, and 3 because fourth one is anyway wrong. So check it out. Sure, it will be great if you're able to follow. I mean, if you acknowledge that you're able to follow this. You getting it? So quickly tell me, do you want me to do substitution or you will check it yourself? Will you check it yourself? Please try to be a little active. I mean, not just Shaurya Pratap, everybody there. This is where I can save a lot of time, right? If you say, please go ahead. Why we cannot put both as 45? You can put both as 45 also. Nothing wrong. But there may be a chance that more than one option satisfies the answers. Then you'll have to change your values. You're getting it, Shaurya Pratap. You can substitute both alpha and beta as 45. That's what I had mentioned, right? Alpha, beta, both can be taken as 45. You can say alpha is equal to 45 and beta also is equal to 45. But the challenge in this case is, I'm just assuming it. It may give you the correct answer directly also. But sometimes it may so happen that two options satisfy. See, alpha and beta 45, what happens? You'll get n equals to 1 because tan alpha will be equal to tan beta and m also will be equal to 1. So n is equal to 1, m equals to 1. And maybe more than one option satisfy the correct answer. So that is the reason I am suggesting not to go by alpha and beta as 45. Okay. So substitute in 1, 2, and 3 again and check which one satisfies. I am moving on to the next one. Okay, just give me a minute. I'll refresh the screen. I can see some of you getting disappointed that why are we taking up these kind of questions, trigonometry-based questions. So we'll do that. I think, like I discussed earlier, we will have separate exclusive session for geometry, trigonometry, and algebra before your SSC exam. Today, let us focus only on the common topics of trigonometry, common topics of bank and SSC exams. Right. So please don't mind if I skip your questions from trigonometry, algebra, and geometry today. From now, because we'll only topics which are common for both the exams, so that even banking students can benefit. All right. Next question. So here's the next one. Yeah, this is the last one we had solved. Next question is from Pradeep Naga. Let us look at this. 5 men start working to complete a work in 15 days. After 5 days, 10 women are accompanied by them to complete the work in next 5 days. If the work is to be done by women only, when could the work be over if 10 women have started it? Okay, so that's a question from time and distance. I'm sure both the bank and SSC student would benefit from this, right? 5 men start working. Shaurya Pratap says answer is not matching by taking 45 degrees. No, please check your calculations. It should match. There may be a possibility that two options satisfy. That's a different story. But you cannot say that it is not matching at all. Minimum one option should satisfy when you take 45 and 45. Just check it once again. So back to this one. 5 men start working to complete a work in 15 days. After 5 days, 10 women are accompanied by them to complete the work in next 5 days. If the work is to be done by women only, when could the work be over? If 10 women have started it. So basically the work here was what? 5 men They wanted to finish in 15 days. But after 5 days, 10 women accompanied them to complete the work in next 5 days. So for the first 5 days, 5 men worked. So 5 men into 5 days. Plus, for after 5 days, what happened? 10 women are accompanied by them. 10 women joined them. So how many are working now? 5 men anyway are working along with 10 women. Right? And they complete the work in next 5 days. So already they have worked for 5 days, and now in the next 5 days, they'll complete the work. This is second part of the work, right? This is the first part, and this is the second part. So if the work is to be done by women only, then how many days will be required if 10 women work on it? See, the other point which we need to note here is 5 men can complete a work in 15 days. 5 men start working to complete a work in 15 days. So actually 5 men can complete in 15 days, but what happened? After the 5 days, some people joined them. Some women joined them and they complete the work in next 5 days. So I can say that the same work W can be finished by 5 men in how many days? 15 days. So basically, this is the equation. Try and get the relationship between men and women, and then you should be able to solve it. See what happens here. 25 men, 5 into 5, 25 men plus this 5 into 5, 25 men plus 50 women equals to 5 into 15, 75 men, right? So what do we get? 50 women equals to 25 men. This will give us 2 women equals to 1 man. Yes or no? Upon simplification, 75 minus 50 will give you 25. So 50 women equals to 25 men, or 2 women equals to 1 man. So basically 1 man is equivalent to 2 women. 1 man is equivalent to 2 women. Now he's asking us to find out how many days would be required if 10 women work on it. See, we know that P1 D1 should be equal to P2 D2. P1 D1 equals to P2 D2. We very well know that 5 men can complete in 15 days. So 5 men can complete it in 15 days. Now, instead of 1 man, can I substitute two women here? You're getting it? Let us take it this way. 5 men can do it in 50 days. P2. What is P2? 10 women. 10 women will do it in how many days? 10 women in how many days? Let's say D. D has to be calculated. But the point is, instead of M, we will substitute 2W here. So what does the equation look like? 5 into 2W into 15 equals to 10W. So women and women, their capacities anyway get cancelled. What is the number of days here? 5 into 2, 10 will get cancelled. 15. 15 days is the answer. 15 days is the answer. Option 3. Shaurya Pratap, have you followed this? Somebody says you're going wrong. Can you please? Bhakti says how 5 men into 15 is taken. See, we know that 5 men can complete a work in 15 days. 5 men can complete a work in 15 days. But then what happened in the actual case? They planned to work for 15 days, but after 5 days, 10 women joined them. See, after 5 days, actually they should take 10 more days. But because some people have joined them, they completed the remaining work in next 5 days. Pradeep, you have followed this? Yes. Now let me give you a smart way of solving this question, right? You need not do all this crap to arrive at the answer. You can cut it down. If you have followed the regular solution, now it will be easy for you to follow the smart way of answering this. See, the point to be noted here is, we know that 5 men can complete a work in 15 days. After 5 days, what happened? 10 women are accompanied by them to complete the work in next 5 days. So the point to be noted is, see, we very well know that 5 men can actually complete it in 15 days. They worked for 5 days. If they have already worked for 5 days, the remaining work will be done in how many days? 10 days. So for the remaining work, 5 men would need 10 days. Yes or no? But what happened? In the remaining work, 10 women joined. And hence they completed the work in next 5 days. So if you observe, overall, these 5 men have worked for how many days? 5 men have worked for 10 days. For the first 5 days, and then after 5 days also they work for another 5 days. And the 10 women have worked for how many days? 10 women have worked only for the last 5 days there. So basically the point is, from this part of the question, you should understand that 5 men are equal to 10 women. 5 days, 5 men should have taken 10 days, but they have taken only 5 days. Why? Because the remaining 5 days of their work was done by 10 women. You're getting the point? Are you able to follow? This is very, very important. You need not write any of the steps on paper. Not even what I have written here. These 2 points are not required. You can mentally mark the answer here. Do the calculation mentally. After 5 days, they should have taken 10 days. Who should have taken 10 days? The 5 men. But the 5 men took only 5 days. Why? Because the remaining 5 days of their work was done by 10 women. So whatever 5 men could do in 5 days, the same work was done by 10 women in 5 days. So I can conclude that 5 men is equal to 10 women. Indirectly, if you see, that's what we have got. 5 men equals to 10 women. Multiply both the sides by 5, 5 men equals to 10 women. So 5 men equals to 10 women. Now, we know that 5 men can complete in 15 days. So 10 women will complete in how many days? 5 men are equal to 10 women. So if 5 men can do in 15 days, 10 women will also do in 15 days. Are you able to follow? How many of you have followed this smart way of doing it without writing any step on paper? Quick, say yes or no. If you have followed, say yes. If you have not followed, say no. So that based on your responses, I can explain. Quick, how many of you have followed this? Ashish says, I think forming equation works for me. Okay, nothing wrong. Equation is correct. I'm not saying this method is wrong. Method is correct. But why do we have to do this when there is a smarter way of getting the answer? Somu says, I did not follow. Kuhu Chaudhary has not followed. I'm just taking the names who have not followed so that I can explain them. Vishali has not followed. And Sampath has not followed. Who else? Have you guys gone through the time and work video? See, if you have not seen the time and work video, then it will be a little difficult for you to follow. Murli says he has not followed. Deepak has not followed. Pradeep has also not followed. Okay, since Pradeep has not followed, let me repeat it again. I am repeating only the smart solution now, not the regular solution. See, now some of you might be wondering why am I focusing on Pradeep? Because Pradeep had posted this question, so it is important that he follows it. Of course, others should also follow, but it is Pradeep's query, right? 5 men, just focus on this. 5 men can complete a work in 15 days. 5 men can complete a work in 15 days. Yes or no? Remember this. After 5 days, 10 women are coming. So basically, if they have worked for first 5 days, how many more days should they work for? See, I don't want to write anything here because nothing has to be written for solving this question in a smart way, right? So just follow my words. 5 men can complete a work in 15 days. They have worked for first 5 days, right? First 5 days they have worked. Now, for how many more days should they work? They should work for 10 more days. Yes or no? These 5 men should work for 10 more days. But 10 women joined them. 10 women accompanied them. And the work got over in next 5 days. That means instead of 10 days, this group has now taken only 5 days. Are you able to follow? 5 men were supposed to work for 10 days. But because of this 10 women, they finished the work in 5 days itself. So if you observe overall, out of the last 10 days of work, 5 days of work was done by 5 men and remaining 5 days of work was done by 10 women. That is the reason they could complete it together in 5 days. You're able to follow. These 5 men worked for 5 days. And I'm talking about the later part. In the later part. Later part means after 5 days. See, writing makes it even more complicated. So I don't want to write, but just focus on this. I'm talking about the later part, which is after 5 days. 5 men work for 5 days and 10 women also work for 5 days because together they have completed the work in 5 days, right? So, and actually 5 men should have taken 10 days. You're getting it? 5 men should have taken 10 days. But they worked only for 5 days. So the remaining 5 days of work that was done by whom? Was done by 10 women. So we can conclude that 5 men are equal to 10 women. That's it. The moment you get this equation, 5 men can do in 15 days, 10 women will also do in 15 days. Have you followed it? H. Knight still says no, but I think that was posted a few minutes ago. Again, all those who had not followed, tell me, did you follow it this time? And you also have to tell me whether you have watched the time and work video. If you have not watched the time and work video, this will be difficult. See, I remember there is one question in the workbook where we are talking about Sejal. I think Sejal or someone. That question is similar to this. Or I would say this question is similar to that one, right? That's the concept. I'm actually surprised that I remember the name of that person, Sejal, somehow. Got it? Yes, I think all those who have not followed earlier have followed it now. So that is the way you should look at, right? Sharanjit Singh says, sir, little explanation more. Sharanjit, I have no problem in explaining it once again. But honestly, tell me, did you watch time and work video or not? Have you completely watched the time and work video? This question is for Sharanjit Singh. Sharanjit Singh. Sharanjit Singh, have you followed the time and have you watched the time and work video? Please say yes or no. Quick. No, sir. Yes. That is the reason you are not able to follow this solution, sir. So please watch the time and work video. Then watch this doubts clarification session archive once again. And I'm sure nobody will stop you from understanding this. I mean, nothing can stop you from understanding this. It becomes very, very easy. So moving on to the next one. Next question is from Richard. The radii of two circles are 5 centimeter and 3 centimeter respectively. The distance between their centers is 24. Richard, this is a formula-based question. Why do you want me to solve it? And moreover, we have discussed already that we will not be taking up questions from trigonometry, geometry, and algebra. I mean, let's focus only on topics which are common for bank and SSC. However, Richard, this is a formula-based question, right? There is a direct formula for this one. Just use that formula to mark the answer. All the values are given. In that formula, what we need is the radii of the two circles and the distance between their centers. So because all the three values are given, you can simply substitute and get the answer. So in my view, I have solved this. You just have to refer to the formula. Next question. Next question is from Ram Shankar. If a train moves at 20 kilometers per hour lower speed than before, it will take 3 hours than before to cover a certain distance. And if it moves kilometers per hour than before, it will take 1 hour less than before to cover the same distance. Find the distance. Please give me the options. The easiest way to solve this question would be to use the answer options. You're getting it, Ram Shankar? The easiest way to solve this question, or I would say if options are available, solving this question would become much easier. Otherwise, you'll have to solve equations have to be framed. See, he says, let us assume the original speed of train is s and the time taken is t. When it moves 20 kilometers per hour lower speed at a speed which is 20 kilometers per hour less, that means s minus 20. It will take how much time? It will take 3 hours more. So time taken will be t plus 3. But to cover a certain distance, and if it moves at 10 kilometers per hour higher speed, that means if it moves at s plus 10 kilometers per hour, original speed plus 10 kilometers per hour, then it will take 1 hour less. So original time is t, it will take 1 hour less. That's it. All these three are representing what? They're representing the distance. Yes or no? Distance is equal to speed into time. So we can say d equals to s into t equals to s minus 20 into t plus 3 equals to s plus 10 into t minus 1. Find the distance. So there are equations here, 3 equations, or I would say 2 equations and 2 unknowns. Solve them and get the required answer. Are you getting the point? Ram Shankar, have you followed what I'm saying? See, distance is original speed into original time. New speed is 20 kilometers per hour less. So s minus 20. New time is 3 hours more, t plus 3. Again, in one more case, the speed is 10 kilometers per hour more. So s plus 10. But time is 1 hour less. So t minus 1. That's it. That's the equation. So solve these equations and you would get the required answer, right? So it's like this. St equals to, I'm multiplying these two factors. So st minus 20t plus 3s minus 60 equals to st minus s plus 10t minus 10. All right. So what do we do? Let us take these two equations. Right? Take these two equations. What do we get? This is equation 1, let us say, and this is equation 2. So what happens from equation 1? What do we get? St equals to, you need not write all the steps, but for the sake of explanation, I'm writing it. And second equation will give us st minus 20t plus 3s minus 60 equals to st minus s plus 10t minus 10. So simplify this. What happens? St and st gets cancelled. We will get 20t minus 3s plus 60 equals to 0. This is equation 1, right? Taking everything to the other side. So 20t minus 3s plus 60 equals to 0. And if you cancel st here, what do we get? Let's take this to the other side, right? So 20t minus s, 19t, then 10t sorry, that's not 19. What happens? ST gets cancelled. 20t plus 10t, 30t, then minus s plus 3s. You getting it? Or minus s minus 3s. I'm taking variables from the left hand side to the right hand side. So minus 20 becomes plus 20. So 10t plus 20t, 30t. Minus 3s minus s minus 4s. And minus 10 plus 60 is plus 50 equals to 0. So what happens when you solve these two equations? You will get the values of s and t. Whatever s and t you get, multiply them to find out the distance, right? You know that distance is equal to s into t. That's it. So you can do this as well. All right. So Ram Shankar, you have to complete this solution now. Solve these two equations. You will get the values of s and t, and multiply those two to get the required answer. Fine. I think Ashish Khare says, please tell the trial and error method with options, if options are given, but options are not given. Oh, I think Ram Shankar has posted the options. 480, 500, 720 and none. So how do you use the options? How can it become simple? There also you'll have to do calculations, but we can avoid using all these equations. What we can do is, what can we do? Let me just take it up. If you have given me the distance, then okay, options are what? Options are (600, 480, and so on. Somu says it is taking too much time. No, you don't have to write all the steps, Somu. You can cut down a few steps. But let me just think. Options, how do we use? Distance is given. So basically, I would say, s into t equals to what? You'll have to factorize the options, but factorizing options, there will be multiple possibilities. See, I mean, when options are given, if you go by trial and error, then what happens is you will have to factorize. You will have to factor after the other. And when you factorize means what? Like, for example, let's say if you take the option as 480, right? One option is given as 480. S into t equals to 480. So what can give you 480? Let's say speed is 40. So I can say 40 into 12, right? Or again, there are multiple ways of doing it. I mean, this also is getting complex. I can understand, right? 60 into 8, or maybe 80 into 6, and so on, right? Now, if these are the options, then you must see s minus 20 will it give you t plus 3. Like, for example, if speed is 20, right? Let's say if I take 20 into 20 into what? 24. So if I take 40 and 12 as when speed is reduced by 20 becomes 20. Time should increase by 3 hours, but here time is increased by 12 hours, so not possible. If you take 80 into 6, when I reduce the speed to 60, reduce it by 20, time should increase by 3, but here time is increasing only by 2. So this way you have to quickly verify, right? But this also would become lengthy. I mean, you know that speed should be taken only in terms of this minus 20 and plus 10. Changes are all in multiples of 10. So most probable way of factorizing it would be to take speed as some multiple of 10, right? And continue that way. But I know normal method looks easier, so go by normal method, but cut down a few steps, right? Cut down a few steps and try to solve it this way directly. Okay? Convinced? Shall I move on to the next one? Shall I go to the next question? I hope you followed the regular method. And both the smart, I mean, not the smart method, but how do you go by options? Other way of using the options would be, instead of taking these two equations and solving them, take this equation. The other equation is, let's say, that also is complex actually. Let's say ST equals to the given option 480. So we can say t equals to 480 by s, substitute here and solve the quadratic equation. It is only getting complex. Let's not go by options, right? Simple, follow this method. Okay. Next question. Next question is from Akash. If n squared equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then the value of n is 1001. It is not a natural number. 111, or none of this. See, Akash, you need to understand this is like a special case, I would say. If you are very much interested in numbers, you would know certain interesting things about them. Like, for example, let's look at this. 1 square is 1. 11 squared, 121. What is okay? This is only for square, right? No, I think I was looking at this pattern, but he's fixed n square. This 1331, right? So what will help us? N square is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 in the value of n. You can go by options, but the problem is fourth option is none of this. The third option is straight away eliminated. You know that answer cannot be third option because third option is in what? 1,11,000. 1,11,111. So basically, it is in the range of lakhs. Now, even if you take n as 1 lakh, squaring it will give you what? This is like 10 to the power of 5, right? 10 to the power of whole square will give you what? 10 to the power of 10. So this is basically a 10-digit number. This is 10 to the power of 10, 10-digit number. But you look at this number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is only a 9-digit number. Are you able to follow? So you can clearly eliminate option 3. If it is 1 lakh square itself, you'll get 10-digit number. This is 1,11,111 square. So it will be definitely at least a 10-digit number. If not more, at least a 10-digit number. But the given number is only 9 digits. So option 3 is eliminated. Option 4, what happens? It is like 1001, right? Find out 1001 square. Let us do it. Let's see what happens. 1001 square. How do you do it? Smartly, 1000 plus 1 whole square. So this will be like a plus b whole square. So 10 to the power of 6 plus 1 plus 2000, right? You know that this also does not satisfy because this like 10 lakh 2001, 10 lakh 2001. But what we have is what is this number? Is like this is in crores, right? So option 1 is also eliminated. So either option 2 or option 4. Not an actual number. Will this be a perfect square? How do we check if it is a perfect square or not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, I think the answer has to be option 5. No, there's some pattern I'm unable to recollect. Like I was trying this one. 11 power 1 is 11. 11 square is 121. Similarly, there are some patterns given the 11 cube 1331. So, especially when numbers are all ones and all that. Or maybe like this: 1 square equals to 1. 11 square 121. 1 square. What is 111 square? Let's find out 111 square. So it's 800 plus 11, right? So 10,000 plus 2,200. So 12,200 plus 121, right? So this will be like 12,321. Yeah, I think this is how it is. I now remember the pattern. Now when you take 114 square, sorry, not power 4 square, 4 ones in square, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you take 1, 1, 1, 1 square, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the technique is this. This is not a technique. This is just an observation actually, which holds true for numbers which have got only ones in all the places. So 1 square is 1. If you look at 11, how many ones do we have? So the pattern, number of ones were 2, right? 1, 2, 1. How many ones do we have? 3. So it is like this. You'll write 3 because there are 3 ones. You write 3. Then you write 2, 1 here and 2, 1 here. How many ones are here in this one? 1111. So you write 4. 4 ones are there, right? You write 4. Then write 3, 2, 1. And here in this reverse order, write 3, 2, 1. So that will be the answer. So clearly for this, if you see, there will be 5, right? So you can say the number will have 5 ones. That's the number. So squaring it will give you what? 5 in the middle, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 4, 3, 2, 1. That's how you go. Yeah, I think Thiru has just posted the same thing, right? So that's the technique. So answer should be 4th option, none of these, right? I mean, these are like special cases. If you remember, you'll be able to crack it easily. Otherwise, like we could eliminate 2 options, you'll be left with 2 more options. Then you'll have to take a guess, maybe. Next question. This is from Richard. A and B can dig a trench, right? 100-meter long in 10 and 20 hours respectively. At what distance from A should A and B interchange their position so that they meet exactly at the center if they start from opposite ends? It is given in solution that to meet at center, they should change at half the time that they take together to dig a trench. How this logic or concept is valid? So at least you know the solution. At least you know the shortcut. Let us see what happens here. A and B can dig a trench 100-meter long in 10 and 20 hours respectively. At what distance from A should A and B interchange their positions so that they meet exactly at the center if they start from opposite ends? See, I am not sure about the formula there, but logically, if you see, it is like this. There is a distance of 100 meters. There's a distance of 100 meters, right? Let's say A starts from here and B starts. Instead of taking it as digging a trench in 10 hours and 20 hours respectively, let us assume they have to travel distance. So between A and B, the distance is 100 meters. A can cover this distance of 100 meters in 10 hours, right? And B can cover this distance of 100 meters in 20 hours. So at what distance from A and B should A and B interchange their position so that they meet exactly at the center? Okay, at what distance should A and B interchange their position so that they meet exactly at the center if they start from opposite ends? Okay. At what distance from A should A and B interchange their positions so they meet exactly at the center if they start from opposite ends? Let me do it in a regular what happens and try to establish the shortcut. Let's assume this is A and this is B, distance is 100 meters, and this is the point from which they should interchange. Let's say this is the interchanging point. So if this is X, this will be 100 minus X. They should meet exactly at the center here. Center point. Change this point, they interchange positions. Mm. Okay, I'm quiet. I'm just thinking what to be done here. So don't feel that audio is on. I'm not speaking anything, right? And I'm not even looking at the chat. I mean, this is like very interesting one. I actually, I mean, may take a little time, but I want to solve it. I really would like to solve it. Let me just think about it. Mm. I actually somehow I'm not very sure what he actually means when he says that what distance from A should A and B interchange their position. So let's say they have started now. From here, if they interchange their positions, yeah, it is definitely time consuming. I'm looking at the comments. Vishali says it is time consuming. Saudi has just joined. Good evening. Mm. Rishabh says solution is that 100 by 1 plus 2. Mm. No, there's no information missing. Sharanjit, I don't think there's any information missing. It's just that it is not a very regular one. Uh, okay, Richa, I need some time for this. Let me think about the conventional method and then also tell you how we arrive at the logic. But doing it live may, maybe a waste of time for all the other students as well. So please allow me some time. I'll definitely get back to you on this question, right? I'm just moving on to the next one. I hope you don't mind on this. We will come back to that. I mean, not come back to that in this session. I will try it when I'm alone and then probably send you the solution there. Next question. After covering 2/3 of the distance of 528 kilometers, the speed of a car is reduced by 5 length of its initial speed and it takes 1 hour 40 minutes more to cover the total distance. What is the initial speed? Hmm. What is the initial speed? Okay, so after covering 2/3 of the distance of 528 kilometers, the speed of a car is reduced to 5/11th of its speed, and it takes 1 hour 40 minutes more time to cover the total distance, right? So let's say the total distance is same in both the cases, right? D is equal to D, so which is equal to 528 actually, right? So speed into time is equal to let me do it this way. 2/3 of distance, and let's consider okay, after covering 2/3 of a distance of 528 kilometers, the speed of a car is reduced by 5/11th of its initial speed, and it takes 1 hour 40 minutes more time to cover the total distance. So basically, for the remaining 1/3 of the distance, they should have taken some time, right? But they've taken 1 hour 40 minutes more for covering that 1/3 of the distance. This 1 hour 40 minutes is more because the speed was reduced by 5/11th, right? So you know that if speed is reduced by 5/11th, time will increase by time reducing by 5/11 implies time taken will increase by 11/5, right? But here it says time has increased by 1 hour and 40 minutes. So we can say 11/5 into t equals to 1 hour 40 minutes. Like 100 minutes. Oh. Yeah, D can be taken as 528, but anyway, I mean the ratio anyway will cancel D, right? So it doesn't matter. We can take 2/1. The ratio is 2/1. But I'm not following that. I'm just looking at this right hand side half, right? We know that if speed is Okay. Okay. I think, yeah, this is a simple one. I am thinking too much about it. See, you know that distance is equal to speed into time, right? Distance is equal to speed into time. This is like, you remember the effective percentage formula? You know, the effective percentage. Let us use the concept of percentages to arrive at the answer. Effective percentage is nothing but A plus B plus AB by 100%. Yes or no? When A and B, 2 percentage changes are given to us, to overall our effective percentage change would be A plus B plus AB by 100, right? Now, if you remember, we had solved these questions in the topic of percentages, where if price has increased by some percentage, what should be the reduction in the quantity sold so that expense is constant, revenue is constant. So this is something like this. Here, there is a change in the speed. Because of change in the speed, there will be an increment in the time. Yes or no? We know that speed is inversely proportional to time. So if the speed reduces, time taken will increase. Yes or no? So speed reduces, time taken will increase. So that the distance is constant. The distance remains constant. Now forget about this 2/3 of the distance which was covered at normal speed. Only let us look at the remaining part of it. What is the remaining part? Remaining distance. What is the remaining distance? 1/3 of the distance, right? 1/3 of 528. So how much is this? 76 kilometers, right? 528 kilometers, so 76 kilometers. We are only looking at the 76 kilometers of the distance. Yes or no? Sorry, 176 kilometers, not 76. 300 plus 210 plus 18, right? So 176 kilometers. The remaining distance is 176 kilometers. Now what happened in this remaining 176 kilometers distance? The speed was reduced by 5 by 11. Now if you look at it, 5 by 11 in terms of percentage is how much? 5 by 11, 45.45%. Yes or no? If speed has reduced by 5 by 11 percentage, then the time taken should increase by how much? Time taken should increase by it should increase by or a better way of understanding this is that question where A salary is more than B salary by X percentage, then by what percentage is B salary less than that of A? What do we do? If we say if A is less by 5 by 11, right, then B will be more by, see, we want something more. How do you increase a fraction? Forget about percentage. This is not needed. How do you increase a fraction? See, this fraction is given as 5 by 11. We want something more in terms of fraction, right? So to increase a fraction, you must reduce the denominator. By how much will you reduce the denominator? You'll reduce the denominator by the value given in the numerator. So time should increase by 5 by 11 minus 5. So this will be 5 by 6. The time taken will increase by 5 by 6, right? But here, time taken has increased by how much? 1 hour and 40 minutes. So we can say 5/6 of the time, 5 by 6 of the time is equal to 1 hour and 40 minutes or 100 minutes, let's say. So which means actual time required. See, this is not actual time. This is the time for only remaining distance. Forget about the first 2/3. So actual time required will be how much? 120 minutes. 120 minutes. 120 minutes for covering what? 176 kilometers, right? So 120 minutes is like 2 hours. So to cover 176 kilometers, time required is 2 hours. So what is the speed? Speed can be taken as distance by time. So 176 by 2 hours, which comes out to be 88 kilometers per hour. You're getting it? Yeah. So let us not go by any complex solution. Just follow this and you get the answer. 88 kilometers per hour, which is what you have given here. Have you followed this, Ram Shankar? This is actually easy. I kind of looks like made it complicated by thinking something else. See, the point is, just follow that method. Just follow the method that we have used in case of the questions from percentages. A's, the questions where we say A's salary is, this is which model I don't remember, right? Let me see if I have the access to workbook. No, I don't have immediate access to workbook. But this model, right, where we say A's salary is more than B's salary by, sorry, I'm not able to write here. Remember those questions. A salary is 50% more than B's salary. So by what percentage is B's salary less than that of A? Whatever concept we have used here, we are using the same concept, right? Not even effective percentage. Not even effective percentage. Just go by that concept. A salary is 33.33% more than B. So by what percentage is B's salary less than that of A? We have used a fractions method to solve the question. So same fraction method I'm using here. If speed is less by 5 by 11, so time should be more by 5 by 6. But this 5 by 6 of the time is given as 5 by 6 of the time is given as 100 minutes. Why we have taken 100 minutes? 2 hours and 40 minutes is equal to 100 minutes. So I know that the time should increase by 5 by 6. So that 5 by 6 increment is equal to 100 minutes. So the actual time taken will be 120 minutes. Are you able to follow? 120 minutes, which is 2 hours. This 2 hours of time taken for remaining 1/3 of the distance, right? 1/3 of the distance. So 176. So 176 kilometers was covered in 2 hours, which means the speed is how much? 88 kilometers per hour. 88 kilometers per hour. Have you all followed this? Once again, model 5. Thank you, Raghavendra, for mentioning that. Model 5. First and foremost, refer model 5. I'll explain this once again. Refer model 5 from percentages. I told you, concepts of percentages can be used in time and work, time and distance, profit and loss, simple and compound interest, and many other topics, right? Here, see, wherever, you know that speed into time is constant, right? Here, he says, speed has reduced by 5 by 11. Speed has, not write the statement, speed has decreased by 5 by 11. So what should be the increment in time? If speed has reduced, you know that time will increase. Time will increase by how much? See, directly a fraction is given to us. In those questions, we first convert the percentage to fraction. Here, directly fraction is given to us, right? What is the fraction? 5 by 11. Now, we know that if the speed has reduced by 5 by 11, time has to increase. So basically, you have to work on this fraction. You have to increase this fraction. How do you increase the fraction? You increase the fraction by reducing the denominator. We will never work on numerator in such cases. We'll always work on the denominator. So you'll have to decrease the denominator because you want to increase the fraction. Now the next question that arises is, by how much will we decrease the denominator? The denominator will be decreased by the value given in the numerator. So numerator is 5, take 11 minus 5 in the denominator. And numerator remains constant, 5. So we can now conclude that time should increase by 5 by 6. Yes or no? But here he says the time taken was increased by 1 hour and 40 minutes. See, 1 hour and 40 is equal to 100 minutes. This 100 minutes increment can be taken as 5/6 of the time, because we know that time has actually increased by 5 by 6. So that 5 by 6 equals to 100 minutes. So what is the time? Time equal to be 600 minutes by 5, which is 120 minutes. Actual time, 120 minutes is 2 hours. So basically it took 2 hours to cover remaining 1/3. 2 hours to cover 1/3 of 528 kilometers. So speed can be taken as distance by time, right? So 1 by 3 into 528 divided by 2. So 528 by 6, which comes out to be 88 kilometers per hour. Now, if you have not followed model 5, if you have not watched the model 5 video from percentages, you will not be able to follow this solution. Just refer to that model 5 video from percentages and it becomes very, very easy for you to complete this. Answer like given will be 88 kilometers per hour. All right. So have you followed this? Have you all followed this now? Shall we move on to the next one? I mean, if you know the method, then it is very, very easy to crack. Followed. Yes, I think I can see some comments coming in. Neil, Roy, Raju, Divya, Ashish, Saubhagyalaki, Sujata. So smart way of answering this question. Just work on that percentages. If at all, let's say instead of giving fraction here, percentage is given. He says speed is reduced by 50%. So what do you do? That 50% should be first converted to fraction. 50% is equal to 1 by 2. Then if this fraction is 1 by 2, what will be the time fraction? It will be 1 by 1. I mean, because speed has reduced by 50%, time should increase using the same logic, whatever you have done here. So that way you can solve it. Fine. On to the next question. Next question by Akash Deep. Now, Akash, like I mentioned, we will take up such questions in our SSC CGL Tier 1 exam refresher sessions, because these are not helpful for those who are appearing only for bank exams. Please do not mind. I am taking up the next one. Next question from Pradeep, time and work. 14 men and 12 boys can finish your work in 4 days. So 14M plus 12B in 4 days, while 8 men and 16 boys can finish the same work in 5 days. Compare the 1 day work of 1 man and 1 boy. So basically 14 men and 12 boys can finish in 4 days. The same work can be finished by 8 men and 16 boys in 5 days. This is the total work. Simplify. What is there in it? 56 men plus 48 boys is equal to 40 men. This is 16 boys, I'm sorry. 8 men and 16 boys, right? 8 men and 16 boys. So 8 5 40 men and 16 5 80 boys. So simplify, what do we get? 16 men equals to 80 minus 48, 32 boys. So we can say one man is equal to 2 boys. The capacity. He's saying compare 1 day work of one man and one boy. So comparison, 1 day work of one man is twice the capacity. The capacity of one man is double the capacity of a boy. Yes or no? One man is equal to 2 boys. So 1 day work of a man divided by 1 day work of a boy will be 2. Option 1 will be the answer. So basically, capacity of a man by capacity of a boy. See, capacity of a man is nothing but 1 day's work of man. Capacity of a boy is 1 day's work of a boy is equal to 2 by 1. That's your answer. Option 1. Alright, 2m equals to b. It's not 2m equals to b, it is m equals to 2b. m equals to 2b. It is not m equals to b. Ashish, it is not m equals to b. It is m equals to 2b. One man equals to 2 boys. Just look at the solution. Alright. Ashish is again commenting that it is 2m equals to b. It is not 2m equals to b. It is m equals to 2b. Remember, capacity. This is capacity equation. Capacity is nothing but 1 day's work. So 1 day's work of a man is twice the 1 day work of a boy. I hope Pradeep, you have followed this. Taking up the next one. The right angle triangle of dimensions 3, 4, 5 is rotated around its hypotenuse as axis. Find the volume of the figure formed. Okay, Richa, let's take it up in. But this is actually mensuration, right? So let's see. A right angle triangle of dimensions 3, 4, 5 is rotated around its hypotenuse as axis. Find the volume of the figure formed. So what happens here? See, there is a right angle triangle. Dimensions are 3, 4, and 5. So this is 5, obviously. Let's say this is 3 and 4. It is rotated around hypotenuse as its axis. So if the hypotenuse is taken as axis, it is rotated. So what figure will be formed? Basically, try to visualize this. There is no way I can draw a 3D figure here, but try to visualize. When you convert a right angle, when you rotate the right angle triangle along its hypotenuse, it will look like what? So basically, let's first take 5 as a straight line, right? Because we are rotating along 5, right? So better it will be easier to imagine. So if it is rotated like this, what figure will be formed? Find the volume of the figure formed. Okay, you're saying query is area can be found by cone formula. But how to get radius for this? Area can be found by cone formula. Will we form a cone here? Yeah, actually we'll form a cone, but the point is it is being rotated along the hypotenuse. See, if it is rotated along this length, we can say a cone is formed. For this triangle, if you rotate along 4 along this axis, a cone will be formed. But here we will not get a cone, or maybe yes, we'll get a cone, but rotated around its hypotenuse as axis. Hypotenuse is taken as axis, it is rotated around that. So basically this flap is rotated, right? So what figure do you get? Do you get a cone? See, when you rotate along this axis, height perpendicular line axis, you will get a cone. But in this case, I don't think we'll get a cone. So I am not able to visualize the figure. Unless we can get the figure properly, we will not be able to find the volume. Okay, let me see what are the queries that you have. I mean, comments for this question, if that helps us. Okay, Walia says, explain why cone. No, Y cone, basically, try to look at this right angle triangle here, right? If you rotate along this perpendicular axis, I mean, this is like perpendicular side, this is the base. So if you rotate this along the perpendicular line, which is equal to 4, what happens? We'll form a cone, right? We'll form a cone for which the height will be 4, and the slant length will be 5, and the radius of the base will be 3. But here, that's what Richa says. Here, what should we take the radius? The volume can be taken as the volume of, I mean, here, finding out the volume of will be nothing but volume of the cone. But here, what is this? Some of you saying it will form 2 cones, which is correct. But the point is, what should be the so basically we need to find this distance. What is this distance? Ashish says in this question, rotating means folding the triangle along the asked side. No, it is not folding. See, how do you get 3D figures? How do you get 3D shapes? Only when you rotate a 2D shape. Like for example, if you look at a cone is basically a right angle triangle which has been rotated along the height. Here, the problem is that right angle triangle has not been rotated along the height. It has been rotated along the perpendicular, along the hypotenuse. So that is what is making this complex. So to find out the volume, okay, any idea, anyone? Anything else? Maybe a rhombus. BKMTHE King says it can be a rhombus. It will not be a rhombus. I mean, basically we will get 2 cones. One cone will have 4 as the slant length, the other cone will have 3 as the slant length. One cone's height will be x, the other cone's height will be 5 minus x. And radius will be this length. Right? So, radius is nothing but h, whatever h I have calculated here. So, take 3.2, 1.8. What will be the height? (3.2) square will be 10.24, right? So 16 minus 10.24 will be 5.76. So h will be equal to 2.4. So Richard, the radius that you're talking about should be taken as 2.4. See, this is h. I'm assuming this is h. right? So if you observe, there are two cones. One cone has got 4 as a slant length, 3.2 is the height, radius is 2.4. The other cone which will be formed will have same radius, 2.4 as the radius, height will be 1.8. So find out the volume of this cone plus the volume of this cone. Are you able to follow now? Rotated means by how much angle should it rotate. It is not some angle, it is complete rotation, one complete rotation. You are able to follow. Kalpana has got a query. That rotated means by how much angle. It is not, rotation means what? One complete rotation. See, you consider a right angle triangle. When you rotate it completely by 360 degrees, it will give you a cone. So similarly here also we are rotating this right angle triangle by 360 degrees so that we get a cone. And the point is, here it is not being rotated along the height, it is being rotated along the hypotenuse. So the shape of the triangle changes. Richa, have you followed the solution that I have taken? See, let us assume this is h. We know that total is 5. This length is 5. I am taking x as the top part and 5 minus x as the bottom part. So by applying Pythagoras theorem to the two triangles, we will be able to find out the value of x. And by using that value of x, I will be able to find out h. H will nothing be the radius. H is nothing but the radius. I mean, when you split the two triangles, h can be considered as the radius, right? So for the first triangle, radius is 2.4, height is 3.2. For the second triangle also, the radius is 2.4, height is 1.8. Now find out the volume. Let us see. Volume formula is what? Volume of a cone is 1 by 3 pi r square h, right? So I'm doing the remaining part of the calculation using red ink so that we can follow. 1 by 3 pi r square. So for this, the volume will be 1 by 3 pi r square, 2.4 square into 3.2. For the second also, I'll take 1 by 3 common. 1 by 3 pi r square h. 2.4 square into h is 1.8. So basically what happens? 2.4 square if we take common, 1 by 3 pi 2.4 square into 3.2 plus 1.8 is 5. Simplify this. 2.4 square is 5.76, or this is like 5 into 2.4 into 2.4 into 5 divided by 3. So 3 here goes 0.8 times. 5 into 0.8 is 4. 4 into 2.4 is 9.6. So we'll get 9.65. That's your answer. 9.65. Option 3. Richa, have you followed? Richa. Okay, it took a little time, but we have finally solved it. Just tell me if you guys have followed the solution or not. BNK4132 says, this is my first time here. Well, welcome BNK. I'm sure you will be able to, I mean, whatever queries you have, sorted out here. Very good announcement for all of you. I only want to hold it for the end of the session, right? Ashish Kari says, are we talking about imaginary figure made by rotation? It is not imaginary figure. I mean, you can visualize it. I cannot draw it on paper, but you can visualize it. So Richa, have you followed this? 9.65. Yeah, I think Mishra, Prasad, Thiru, all of them have acknowledged that they have followed it. I'm only waiting for Richa to answer. Richa, I hope you have followed the solution. Yeah, I think Richa has followed. Has she commented already? Akash, Deep, Vishali, Ramya, everybody has followed. How about Richa? Well, that was a nice one. Glad that we could complete it quickly. I mean, not quickly, but within the session itself. Anuradha says 3.2. Where did it come from? X equals to 3.2 we have got here, right? X equals to 3.2. How did you find x equals to 3.2? See, what I did was, we know that x square plus h square equals to 16, right? So in the second equation, I have cancelled out x square and h square and replace them with 16 because sum of these two is 16. That's what I've used here. So we'll get 9 equals to 25 minus 10x plus 16. So that will give us 10x equals to 25 plus 16, 41 minus 9, 32. So 10x equals to 32, x equals to 3.2. Now did you follow? Richa has confirmed that she has followed. Anuradha, 3.2. That's how I've got 3.2. These are two equations basically. These are the two equations that we have solved. Solve these two equations, you'll be able to find out the value of x. And from that x, you can then find out the value of h. Okay? Kalpana says, how did you divide 5? How did you divide 5? Where did I divide 5? Which 5? How did you divide 5? This 5. I did not divide directly 3 point. What I have done is two right angle triangles. Are you able to follow? For two right angle triangles. This is like, let's say A, B, C, and D. So the first equation that we have here is from triangle ABD. Triangle ABD will give you this equation. The second equation is triangle BDC. Triangle BDC. I know this has become very clumsy. I would actually love to solve it once again neatly, but I think that would take some time. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, I'm moving on to the next one. You just refer the solution once again, you'll be able to crack it. Next question. The distance between A and B is 240 kilometers. P starts from A at a speed of 36 kilometers per hour at 4 a.m. towards B. After 5.5 hours, Q starts from B at a speed of 24 kilometers per hour towards A. Where will they meet from A? See, time and distance, regular type of questions, right? Distance between A and B is 240 kilometers, right? So this is the distance, 240 kilometers between A and B. This is point A, right? And here is point B. Now P starts from A. P starts from A at a speed of 36 kilometers per hour. And at 4 a.m. At what time? 4 a.m. And towards B. And after 5.5 hours. After 5.5 hours means what? At 4 a.m. 5.5 hours is what? 6:30 a.m. Right? So at 6:30 a.m. Q will start from B at a speed of 24 kilometers per hour. What is the speed? 24 kilometers per hour. At what time will it start? See, P started at 4 a.m. Q will start after 5.5 hours. So it will start at 6:30 a.m. So towards A. Now where will they meet from? A is the question. See, the first point is, for the first 2.5 hours, only P is running. Yes or no? For the first 2.5 hours, from 4 a.m. up to 6:30 p.m. 4 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. 6:30 a.m. Right? Distance covered by P will be how much? Distance is equal to speed into time. Speed is 36 kilometers per hour into time is, this is equal to 2.5 hours. Remember? Which is nothing but that 5/2 hours, right? 36 into 5/2 hours. So how much is this? 90 kilometers, right? It will cover 90 kilometers. Distance covered by P. So which means after 2.5 hours, what will the situation be? Let's say this is the point where we have, this is A dash, let us say, and this is B, right? This is at P running at 36 kilometers per hour. And from here Q running at 24 kilometers per hour. Now both of them are at 6:30 a.m. You don't have to do all this in the exam. I'm just giving you the complete solution, right? Now what is the distance between A and B? Understand, the distance between A and B will be how much? Already P has covered 90 kilometers. So let's say this is A. This is 90 kilometers. So out of 240, if 90 is covered, remaining is what? 150. 90 is already covered by P from A to A dash. Now from A dash, this is not B dash, this is B. From A dash to B, the distance is 150 kilometers. Now what is he asking? Where will they meet from A? Let us assume this is the meeting point. Right? You know that at the meeting point, time taken is equal. So, time taken by P from the, remaining part of the question is similar to what we have solved in our videos, right? Time taken by P from A dash to M will be equal to time taken by Q from B to M. So time is equal to what? Distance by speed. Let us assume this is X. This will be 150 minus X. Simplify. So X by 36 will be equal to 150 minus X by 24. So 3 and 2. So 2X equals 450 minus 5X equals to 450. So x will be equal to 90. Now the question is, at what distance from A? Where will they meet from A? See, x equals to 90. So if this is 90, I am striking it off. How much will this be? 150 minus 90, 60. So at what distance from A are they meeting? This is the meeting point. At what distance from A? 180 kilometers. See, this 90 plus 90. Right? So your answer for this question has to be 180 kilometers. Ram Shankar, that's the solution. You can also go by relative speed now. I mean, after arriving at point A dash, you can also consider relative speed and find out the distance. So basically, half of the question should be done mentally. You don't have to draw these diagrams and all that. I have drawn this part of the diagram only to explain you the situation. Then you don't have to write 4 a.m. to 6:30 a.m., 2.5 hours, distance and all that. You know that in 2.5 hours, distance covered will be how much? 36 plus 36 plus 18, 90. So already 90 is gone, now remaining is 150. For that 150, you apply this. See, this we have discussed in our videos. This part of the solution we have discussed in our videos for one of the questions. So find out x. But don't mark 90 as the answer. Definitely for this question, Ram Shankar, one of the options will be given as 90. You should not mark 90 as the answer. You should mark answer as 90 plus 90. Because 90 is from A dash to meeting point. He's asking us from A to meeting point. So 90 plus 90, 180 will be the answer. Okay. Moving on to the next question. Raju sells sweets at 15 rupees per kg. A sweet is made up of flour and sugar in the ratio 5:3. Find the 5:3. The ratio of prices of sugar and flour is 7:3. He earned 66 2/3% profit. Find the cost price of sugar. So that's a interesting one from profit and loss, right? Look at this. Raju is selling sweets at 15 rupees per kg, right? And we know that he earned 66 2/3% profit. So basically selling price is equal to 15 rupees. Profit is equal to 66.66%, right? 66 2/3. So by using these two, I can say the cost price here will be how much? This is like, cost price will be, if you take 166.6, right? 5 parts. So 5 parts is, cost price will be 9 rupees. You getting it? I have done mental calculation. I'm sure even you guys can do. I don't know the cost price and selling price and profit are given to you. So basically selling price is 15, profit is 66.66%. So cost price will be 9 rupees. Now look at the remaining part of it. He says a sweet is made up of flour and sugar, wheat flour and or whatever flour and sugar in the ratio 5. The ratio of the flour is 7:3. So find the cost price of sugar. So now what do we do? Okay, so 5:3. The ratio of prices of sugar and flour is 7:3. So we can say the total cost of 9 rupees should be divided in what ratio? 5 into 3, 15 is to 3 into 7, 21. 15 is to 21, or maybe 5 is to 7. 5 is to 7, right? 5 is to 7. So the cost price of sugar. You're able to follow. See, if you look at it, he says a sweet is made up of F and S in what ratio? 5:3. Okay, and the ratio of the prices of sugar and then flour. So I'll say cost price of flour is to cost price of sugar. Will be how much? 3:7. 3:7. Now, I mean, if you understand, let us assume the cost is 9 rupees. This selling price is 15 rupees. Cost is 9 rupees per kg, right? Per kg. Now we know that in 1 kg, in 1 sweet, F will be 5/8 kgs, and what will be S? S will be 3/8 kgs. There, this thing. What is that? Weights, right? Distribution of the weights in 1 kg of sweet. We know that the cost of F is 3. I mean, the ratio of the cost is 3:7, right? So it is like this: 3 parts and 7 parts, right? I mean, cut down the number of steps. For detailed explanation, I'll have to put it here. Mental calculations can be done. 7 parts, 3 parts, and 7 parts. So the point is, this 9 rupees, how can you arrive at the 9 rupees cost? I can say 9 rupees will be equal to the quantity of flour, 5 by 8 into the price is 3x, plus the quantity of sugar is 3 by 8 into the price of sugar is 7x. Simplify for x from this one, right? So what do we get? 9 into 8, 72 equals to 5 into 3, 15x plus 3 into 7, 21x, right? So 36x, which implies x equals to 2. Now what is he asking us to find out? Cost price of sugar. For us, the cost price of sugar is 7x. So substitute 2 implies cost price of sugar will be 7 into 2, 14 rupees per kg. Right? This is in rupees. Remember, 14 per kg. So the answer will be 14. Suppose he says, what is the cost price of flour? So you'll say, cost price of flour, wheat flour will be 3 into 2. 3 into 2, 6 rupees per kg. Right? AKS says C equals to 9. How? I am not going to explain that. You cannot be asking me. You cannot be asking me how to find out cost price from selling price and profit. That's a very basic calculation. Let me not explain that. You just refer the profit and loss video, you will know. I have done mental calculation. You can do it. You also can do it. If I have done it, even you can do that. So that's it. Answer of, the cost price of sugar should be 14 rupees per kg. Now it depends on, how the answers are given. Shaurya Pratap, if the answers are, if the cost price of sugar is asked in rupees per kg, then the answer is 14. But if he says out of 9 rupees that we have spent, what is the cost of sugar? Then you'll have to do a different calculation. Because out of 9 rupees, how much is the expenditure on sugar? Expenditure on sugar is this, 3 by 8 into 7x. So you have to take 14 into 3 by 8. So there are two types of answers possible. It depends on the answer options. Are you able to follow? It depends on the type of answer options. If the cost of sugar is in rupees per kg, answer should be 14. If it's asking out of 9 rupees, how much have you spent? Then you have to take 3 by 8 into 7x. 3 by 8 into 14. Because 14 rupees per kg, but I am using only 3/8 of a kg of sugar. So 3 by 8 into 14 should be the answer. Okay. Moving on to the next question. The distance between two stations is 560. A train starts from the first station towards the second station at 45. At the same time, another train starts from the second station towards the first station 35. Where they meet from the second station. You're saying given answer is 245, but I am getting 260. How? X by 45 will be equal to 560 minus x by 35. Simplify. This is like previous question only, Ram Shankar, similar to what we had solved in the previous question, right? The previous one on time and distance, which was posted by you. So find out x. Remember, this x will give you the distance from first station, right? But he's asking us to find out the distance from second station. So first we'll find 60 minus x will be the final answer. So this is 7 times and 9 times. So 7x equals to 9 into 560 minus 9x. So what will be the answer there? 16x is 9 into 560. So what will be the value of x? It will be 9 into 35. Yes or no? 560 divided by 16 is 35 times. So 9 into 35, which is equal to 350. Distance from A. Distance from first station is equal to x, which is 350. Distance from second station will be what? 560 minus x. 560 minus x. So 560 minus 350, which will give you what? 245. 245. Answer is given as 245. It is correct. I am getting 260. You are wrong. 245. Check your calculation once again. Next one. I'll have to refresh the screen for this one. Just hold on. Okay. So, yeah. What's the next one? The previous one was. Yeah, next one is from Richard. Find the remainder when 2 power 33 is divided by 17. 2 power 33 is divided by 17. See, let's go by the cyclicity. I'm sure that will help us. This actually is a SSC type question. Let me give it a shot. 2 power 33. We know that 2 power 1 is 2, 2 squared is 4, 2 cube is 8, 2 power 4 is 16. So we are working on the unit spaces basically. Then 2 power 5 is equal to 32, 2 power 6 equals to 64, and so on. So basically, cyclicity is how much? This implies cyclicity is 4. We have discussed the cyclicity concept, right? I mean, it repeats after every 4 powers, right? So cyclicity here is equal to 4. Now, let us find out the unit space when the number is 2 power 33, right? 2 power 33. Now, what do you do? Divide by 4. What will be the remainder? When you divide 33 by 4, remainder will be equal to 1. Implies 2 power 33 will end in 2. The number 2 power 33 will end with 2. You getting it? I mean, you don't have to again do the complete analysis there. You would know that it is like 2486, 2486. So it repeats after every 4 powers. So 33 you divide by 4 to find out the remainder. Remainder is 1. Hence, 2 power 33 will end with whatever 2 power 1 ends with. It is 2, right? 2 power 33 ends with digit 2. Now he's asking us to find out the remainder when this is divided by 17. Will that help? 17. 2 power 33 minus 2 power 1. No, he's not asking us to find out the unit space of 2 power 33. Many of you I see are marking the answer as option 1. Option 1 is not the answer. He's not asking us to find out what it ends with. And anyway, it is, even if it is asking us to find out what it ends with, it should be option 2 and not option 1. What have you done, Anuradha Sharma and Baby Kumari, that you have got option 1 as the answer? Remainder 33 divided by 4, remainder is 1. But he's asking 2 power 33 divided by 17, what is the remainder? What can be done here? 17 is like 4 Okay, let me just see what you guys have to say here. I think I'm committing a mistake here by expressing the denominator in terms of numerator. because this will not help us, right? For division, numerator should be split as denominator. So let us try and split the numerator. This will not help. 17. 2 power 33 divided by 7. 34 is multiple. Okay, I think I can take it as 2 power 8 to the power of 4. Sorry, 2 power yeah, I think we are done. 17 minus 1 whole to the power of 8 divided by 17. So if you understand, this is like 2 into 17 power 8 . See, this is like a polynomial. If you observe, 17 minus 1 whole to the power of 8 will be like a polynomial, right? 17 minus 1 whole to the power of 8. And every term in that polynomial will have 17. It is like 17 power 8. It's like a minus b whole square, right? If it is a minus b whole square, let us say, then what do? A square plus b square minus 2a. If it is a minus b whole cube, then what do? A cube minus 3a square b plus 3ab square plus b cube. So every term will have a and b there. So even if it is power 8, all the terms will have a and b except that last term here. See, you're getting it? We can say it is like plus some number of terms. Finally, we'll be left with yeah, finally we left with 2. After all those terms, we'll finally get 1 power 8. There will be some number of terms in between 1 power 8 divided by 17. There will be negative terms in between, right? See, a power 8 plus b power 8, and in between there will be a lot of terms. So all those in between terms will have 17 as a value, right? 17 will be a part of all those terms. So all these terms are divisible by 17 except 1 power 8. And every term is being multiplied by 2. So 2 into 17 power 8 plus 2 into something plus 2 into something and so on. Finally, we will be left with 2 into 1 power 8 divided by 17. So this term is divisible by 17. This term is divisible by 17. All the terms are divisible by 17 except this last part, right? So 2 into 1 power 8, or I can say 2 will be the remainder. So option 2. Now Richa actually has got a query that it will be minus 1 whole power 8, which is 1 power 8 only. I mean, minus 1 whole to the power of 8 is equal to 1. So answer will be 2. That's how you do it. So initially what we tried was wrong actually, right? Never try to express the denominator in terms of numerator. Always express the numerator in terms of denominator, right? Try to express the numerator in terms of what we have in the denominator so that cancellation becomes easy. Okay? I'm now moving on to the next one. Rishabh Ranjan says he has not understood it. Rishabh Ranjan, I am sure the first line is very clear. We are just expressing 2 power 33 as 2 into 2 power 32, then 2 power 32 as 2 power 4 whole power 8, then 2 power 4 is 16 power 8, and 16 is being taken as 17 minus 1 whole to the power of 8. Now 17 minus 1 whole to the power of 8 will be like a polynomial. You understand? So all those terms there. Every term here will have 17 except the last term, which is 1 power 8, right? Or minus 1 power 8. That minus 1 power 8 is getting multiplied by 2. So that 2 is extra. Every other term is a multiple of 17. So it can divide, it is divisible by 17, except the last part, which is 2 into 1 power 8. And hence the answer is 2. All right. Next one. If the work done by 8 men and 4 boys in one day is 7 times the work done by 1 man and 1 boy, then compare the... Pradeep, I don't understand why are you getting stuck in such questions. I mean, we have already solved one such question for you, right? 8 men plus 4 boys, the work done by them in one day is 7 times the work done by 1 man and 1 boy. Then compare the work done by 1 man and 1 boy. What is it? 8m minus 7m is equal to 7b minus 4b, 3b. So m by b equals to 3. Next question. A car 4 kilometers in 5 by then travels for 45 minutes at 52 kilometers per hour. What is the average speed of the car? A car covers 104 kilometers in 5 by 2 hours and then travels for 45 minutes at the speed of 52 kilometers. See, D1 is equal to 104 kilometers. T1 equals to 5 by 2 hours. Now, T2 is 45 minutes, which is equal to 3 by 4 hours. S2 is equal to 52 kilometers per hour. Implies what is D2? Distance is equal to speed into time, right? So 52 into 3 by 4. How much is this? 13 into 3, 39 kilometers per hour. Sorry, 39 kilometers. So you know D1, you know D2. You know T1, you know T2. What is average speed? Average speed is equal to total distance by total time. So D1 plus D2 by T1 plus T2. Substitute. What? Ramshankar. 104 plus 39 divided by T1. 5 by 2 plus T2. 3 by 4. So 104 and 39 is 143. Right? 143 divided by this one. So how much is this? This is like 10 by 4. Let's say 10 by 4 plus 3 by 4. 13 by 4. 13 by 4. 13 gets cancelled 11 times. 11 into 4 is 44 kilometers. If you ask me how or why are we doing this, then it goes to show that you have not gone through the time and distance video. Richard will take up these questions in SSC CGL refreshers. Let me just go to the next one. A train starts from A at 9 p.m. and reaches B at 5 p.m. and another train starts from B at 11 a.m. and reaches at 6 p.m. When will they meet each other? Please refer to additional examples from time and distance. We have not solved the same question, but we have solved similar questions. I'm sure you can refer to that question and learn how to answer such questions. Okay, given x and n are integers, 15n squared plus 6n squared plus 5n plus x by n is not an integer for what condition? Just check, no, Richard. There are different options given to you. Use those conditions and see what is the answer there. See, x and n are integers. So remember, x and n both are integers. He says 15n squared plus 6n squared plus 5n plus x divided by n is not an integer. This is not an integer for what condition? Now n is positive. See, I don't think n being positive or negative will result in this being integer or non-integer, right? X is divisible by n. Let us consider these two conditions. X is divisible by n, X is not divisible by n, right? So if X is divisible by n, let us assume X equals to 4, n equals to 2, pertaining to option 2, right? X is divisible by n, right? 4 is divisible by 2. Substitute now, what do we get? We'll get 15 into 2 squared plus. Are you sure this is 15n square plus 6n square? Because 15n square plus 6n square is 21n square. Anyway, 2 square. I hope you're being careful while posting it. So I'm just taking it up. 5 into 2 plus 4 divided by n divided by 2. So see, now will this be an integer or not? 5 into 2 square plus 6 into 2 square plus 5 into 2 plus 4 divided by 2. Because you're dividing by 2. See, every term here gets divided by 2, right? This gets cancelled, this gets cancelled, this gets cancelled, this gets cancelled by 2. So basically this will result in an integer. This will be an integer. But we want it to be not an integer, right? This is not an integer. Hence option 2 is wrong. Check option 3. X is not divisible by n. X is not divisible by n. Let's take n equals to 3. Then what happens? I mean, let me not confuse you. I'll write it separately. Right? Option 3. Going by option 3, we can say x equals to 4, n equals to 3. Now substitute. So what do we get? According to option 3, n equals to 3, right? So 15 into 3 cube, 3 square, plus 6 into 3 square, plus 5 into 3, plus x 4 divided by n 3. Now here again you see 3 cancels all the first 3 terms, but 4 will not be divisible by 3. Since 4 is not divisible by 3, it will be a non-integer. And hence that's your answer. Option 3 is your answer, because we want it to be not an integer, right? It should not be an integer. It is not an integer when x is not divisible by n. Yeah, this is from algebra, but you know, can be asked, such questions can be asked in bank exams as well. Next one. And even if it is n cube, I know this is a wrong question actually, because 15n square plus 6n square will not be given. He would have either otherwise given 21n square. This should probably be n cube. From as far as I understand, this should be n cube. Even if it is n cube, the same condition applies, right? Answer will be option 3. So it is 5 now. We have already crossed the time limit by 20 minutes. So I'll probably spend 10 more minutes and we'll close the session at 5:30, right? I repeat, we'll close the session by 5:30. I know many of you will be disappointed, but I'll have to close it by 5:30. I'm sorry about that. I wish I could solve more number of questions, but the news that I'm going to share with you at 5:30 will definitely make you happy. Moving on to the next one. Looks like Ramshankar is like totally gone when it comes to time and distance. After covering half of the distance at 560 kilometers, the speed of a car is reduced to 4/5 of its initial speed. And it takes 1 hour more time to cover the total distance. What is the initial speed? Ramshankar, this is quite similar to one of our previous questions. Do you agree with me? In fact, I think the first question that was posted by you. Right? The first question posted by you was quite similar to what you have here now, right? So we remember we had used that fractions method. If speed has reduced by 4 by 5, then time should increase by how much? Calculate that and accordingly simplify it. So I'll not be taking it up. You can solve it yourself using what we have discussed in that question. Okay, looks like there's some concerns here. Kavish. Yeah, I agree. Actually, Kavish says that, please decide the number of questions that should be posted by each person there. Because I agree, since the beginning we have been getting questions only from maybe 2-3 persons and not others. Yeah, I take your suggestion. But implementing that will also be challenging. If I say you can post only 2 questions, those who have more than 2 queries will have a concern. So shall we just go ahead, Pradeep? I think try it yourself, man. You should be able to solve these time and work, time and distance questions that you guys have been posting. I'll actually like to take up questions from different persons there so that they're also happy, right? We have taken too many questions from you guys already. So I'll do one thing now. I will just go ahead. I'll take up questions from others. I'm sure you can solve it yourself. Just give it one more try. Otherwise, we'll discuss in the next session. Looks like you guys flooded the complete chat box in the beginning itself, right? See, even if I spend another 1 hour, I get questions only from only 2 of you. Okay, let me take it up. I'll probably go back if time permits. Time would not permit, I know, but let us just take up questions from others as well. Vignesh says, rather than solving questions in first come first serve basis, you need to change it. Please consider this. I would love to consider that, Vignesh. But tell me, what should we do? Just tell me what should we do so that everybody, see, don't just keep your, I know your turn has not come. You're right when you say we should restrict. But tell me something for which everybody will be happy, right? I'm sure today if I say only 2 questions per person will be solved, Richa, Ramshankar and Pradeep will not be happy at all. So definitely some of you will get disappointed, right? Whatever we do. Anyway, I'm just solving this one now. Ambarish Singh, the LCM of 2 prime numbers x and y, x greater than y is 161. The value of 3y minus x is what? Oh, that's an interesting one. LCM of 2 prime numbers x and y is 161. What is the value of 3y minus x? See, LCM of, you know that LCM of 2 prime numbers x and y will be equal to the product of those 2 numbers. Yes or no? LCM of prime numbers is always the product of those 2 numbers. Like LCM of 3 and 7 is 21. LCM of 5 and 11 will be 55. LCM of 5 and 7 will be 35. It is always the product. So basically he says x into y equals to 161. What is the value of 3y minus x? 3y minus x equals to what? So just try and split. See, we have to factorize 161 in terms of 2 prime numbers. So just think of that 161 in terms of, there is only one way that we can split 161. So we have to get that right way. Once you get that, finding out 3y minus x will be very, very easy. So just think of it. How can you split 161? 7. Is it a product? No, it is not a product of 11. 13, 130 plus 31, no. Maybe 17, no. 19, no. 21 is not a prime, but 23, so 15, 46, yeah. So this is actually 23 into something. Right? I can say 161 is 23 into 7. Both are prime numbers, 23 and 7, and the product will be 161. Yes or no? Now he's asking us to find out 3y minus x. Now you can, there are 2 possible cases. I can say x is equal to 23 and y equals to 7, or we can say x equals to 7 and y equals to 23. Right? Achha, but he has given x greater than y. Sorry, I forgot this. X greater than y. X is greater than y means this is ruled out. X greater than y. So find out 3y minus x, 3 into 7 minus 23. So 21 minus 23, minus 2 should be the answer. Minus 2 is not given at all. I think option 1 is minus 2. I am writing minus 2 here and marking option 1 is the answer. Alright? So Amrish, that's the solution. Okay, let me refresh it once. Anyway, time is also up. We'll be closing in another less than 5 minutes. But yeah, I think we have questions posted by others here. Let me take up a few more. Now this from, okay, this also I guess is from Ramshankar only. This is, I thought, a different person. R is missing here. Let me take the one posted by Somu. Jyoti can do 3/4 of a job in 12 days. Mala is twice as efficient as Jyoti. See, Jyoti can do 3/4 of the job in 12 days. 3/4 of the work in 12 days. Implies the total work can be done by Jyoti in how many days? 16 days. Yes or no? 16 days. This is number of days required by Jyoti for Jyoti. 3/4 of the work in 12 days. So complete work 1 minute in how many days? 16 days. Mala is twice as efficient as Jyoti. Mala is twice as efficient as Jyoti means what? Mala's capacity is twice the capacity of Jyoti. Implies number of days required by Mala will be half of the number of days required by Jyoti, which is equal to, let's say, small j, number of days in small j, and kept in capital letters, right? We generally follow, so let me follow the same convention here. So he says Mala is twice as efficient as Jyoti means what? Mala's capacity is twice the capacity of Jyoti. Implies number of days required by Mala will be half of the number of days required by Jyoti, which is equal to half of 16, 8 days. Now, in how many days will Mala finish the job? In how many days will Mala finish the job? 8 days. That's your answer. If Mala works alone, she can finish the job in 8 days. Alright? Next one. So see, even the one posted by Somu is very, very simple. I'm sure Somu has not gone through the time and distance video properly, time and work video properly. That's not difficult at all. Kavish says X sells 2 articles for rupees 4,000 each with no loss, no gain in the interaction. In the transaction. If one was sold at a gain of 25%, the other is sold at a loss. So basically he says X sells 2 articles for rupees 4,000 each. So what is the total selling price? S1 plus S2, which is equal to 4,000. And no loss, no gain. No loss, no gain. Implies total cost price is equal to total selling price. Implies C equals to C1 plus C2 equals to 4,000. If one was sold at a gain of, I am doing the solution so that I can explain to you. I know what the answer is. You're getting it? I know what the answer is. I'm just doing all the steps. Some of you may say, this is very easy, why are you doing the whole thing? But you have to follow it, right? Kavish has to follow, so I'm just doing it. So cost price is same, 4,000. And he says one was sold at a gain of 25%. Let us assume one was sold at a gain of 25%. Implies profit on the first one is 20%, where the selling price is 4,000. Okay, this will be S 4,000 each means 8,000. I did not write it completely, sorry. Okay. This also will be 8,000. One was sold at a profit of, what will be C1? C1 will be coming out to be 3,200. Don't ask me how. Mental calculation. If cost price is 3,200 with a 25% profit, we get the selling price is 4,000. Now substitute this C1 back. So we can say 3,200 plus C2 equals to 8,000. Implies C2 equals to 4,800. What is S2? 4,000. Implies what is the loss? You're getting it? Loss on 4,800. So 16.66%. If one was sold at a gain of 25%, the other is sold at a loss of. Loss is 800 rupees on 4,800. So 16.66. None of the options are correct here. Option 1 is wrong, option 2 is wrong, option 3 is wrong, option 4 is also wrong. Answer is option 5, 16.66%. Are you able to follow Kavish? Vinay Kumar says loss of 25%. No, it is not loss of 25%. See, remember, this goes to show that, Kavish has not watched the profit and loss video, because if you had watched that video, I can write it on paper. Kavish has not watched the profit and loss video, and all those who are saying the answer is 25% have not watched the profit and loss video. Because if you have actually followed profit and loss topic, you would know that what I'm doing on paper is nonsense. Without putting pen on paper, you can say option 5, 16.66% is the answer. Rampriya says when to use X byte and whole square formula. Please refer the profit and loss video. I have told you when to use X byte and whole square as a formula. See, answer will be 25%. For all those who are saying answer is 25% loss, let me tell you, answer will be 25% if and only if the cost prices are equal. Here the cost price is not equal. Here the selling price is equal. You're getting it? It is not the cost price that is equal. It is the selling price. And selling prices are equal. You cannot say loss percentage is equal to profit percentage. Okay, so you have to do this calculation. 16.66%, option 5, none of these. Kavish, have you followed this? Quickly, Kavish, I'm waiting for your confirmation so that I can move on. Kavish, waiting for your confirmation. Mishra says we can post questions on TalentSprint Facebook page where any of us knows can solve it. Will be joint effort which will be helpful for all of us. How about that, guys? Mishra ji, there is something called as student discussion in your account. Nobody is using that and you're suggesting to use Facebook. What is student discussion? Student discussion is the same thing. Let me come on screen. I think it has been long. Good. I appreciate Mishra's feedback. But Mishra, there is something called as student discussion. What is student discussion? You post your queries. If anybody knows the solution, he will respond. Are people using that? No. Students are using it only to post the questions. Nobody is trying to help others. I'm not generalizing it, but that's what is happening, right? And that is the reason everybody is saying discussion forum is not useful. Nobody is responding. Faculty is not responding. We get all such emails. It is not. It is students' discussion. You understand? Anyway, we are trying to see what can be done to improvise this, but the point is that suggestion that you have given is not foolproof, I would say, because we already have a personal forum. Why do you want to go to Facebook forum? Personal forum is there, right? And Kavish looks like he has complained and he has lost, right? Kavish was the one who started saying that you should solve questions from other students also. You have been solving only 2-3 persons. But now Kavish is not there. Anyway, let me go back quickly, solve 1 or 2 more questions. Let me make a few more students happy before we close the session, right? I know I cannot keep everyone happy through these doubts clarification sessions, but some of you will definitely find it useful. Let me move on. Rajkumar Pittala, right? A sum of money invested at compound interest amounts to rupees 4624 in 2 years and rupees 4693 in 3 years. The sum of money is. Now, Rajkumar, this question actually can be solved using, dividing the two amounts. You know that. See, we have solved these type of questions, but because you have a doubt, I have to complete it. I can say this also is easy and skip it. Like everybody's question is easy. This also is easy. But Rajkumar will feel bad if I say this is easy. So I will have to solve it for Rajkumar. Others who know the solution will say, why are you solving this easy question? Why don't you solve mine, which is a complicated one? So let me quickly solve this. See, amount in case of compound interest is P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of P. It says a sum of money invested at compound interest amounts to 4624 in 2 years. So P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of 2. And it amounts to 4913. 3 years. P plus R by 100 whole to the power of 3. This is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Let us say equation 2 divided by equation 1. What do we get? P into 1 plus R by 100 whole to the power of 3 divided by P into 1 plus R by 100. You will not write all these steps if you know the solution already. Don't tell me why are you writing. I am writing for your understanding. 4913 divided by 4624. So P and T gets cancelled. 1 plus R by 100 whole square gets cancelled here. So we can say 1 plus R by 100 equals to this one. Now try to split this. Actually, this can be taken as 1 plus 4913 by 4624, right? So 4624 plus 300 minus 11, 289. Right? So we can say R by 100 equals to 289 by 4624. What is he asking us to find out? The sum of money is. The sum of money means principal. So basically R by 100 is known to Substitute R by 100 in one of the equations and find out the sum of money. Or you need not even split it. I think we have wasted our time by splitting it. That is not needed. I know that. Let's not do this. I think I thought R is needed. R is not needed. P is needed, right? So let's say 1 plus R by 100 here is equal to 4913 divided by 4624. Now substitute this 4913 by 4624 in this place. 1 plus R by 100. So what do we get? 4624 equals to P into 4913 by 4624 whole square. Right? 1 plus R by 100 is 4913 by 4624. And find out the value of P. So from this, P will be equal to 4624 into 4624 whole square divided by 4913. Calculation is your lookout. Do the calculation and mark the answer. Of course, these will be, we'll be able to cancel some terms here. So just do that simplification. This is the principal amount. Rajkumar, I hope you have followed. Let me just quickly check. 4913 by 4624. So P and P gets cancelled. Yeah. If rate of interest is required, then you try to split this or try to find out R from the given equation. But rate of interest is not required. So directly substitute 1 plus R by 100 as 4913 by 4624 and find out principal. Okay. So that's about the question from Rajkumar. Calculation you complete. Next one. Amit Negi will take it up in SSC refreshers. Okay, I think 5:40 now. One last question and I'll close it. I've been saying this for long now, but this time definitely the last one. Let me just look at this. Yeah, the question from Vamshi Krishna. I think Vamshi Krishna also was disappointed that our term is not coming. So Vamshi, it's your turn now. A man gave 50% of his savings of rupees 84,000 to his wife and divided the remaining sum among his sons. So how much will wife get? Let us do it straight away. Wife will get 50% of 84,000, which is equal to 42,000. Divided the remaining sum among his sons A and B of 15 and 13 years of age, respectively. He divided in such a way that each of his sons, when they attain to age of 18 years, would receive the same amount at 5% compound interest per annum. What is the share of B? Okay. So remaining is how much? 42,000. Right? Now this 42,000, let's say it is P1 plus P2, principal 1 plus principal 2. There are two sons, A and B, or let's say principal of A plus principal of B. Right? A is 15 years old. B is 13 years old. So after how many years will he attain 18 years of age? After 3 years. After how many years will B attain 18 years of age? After 5 years. You getting it? And he says he has divided the amount in such a way that each of his sons, when they attain to age of 18 years, that means A after 3 years and B after 5 years, would receive the same amount at 5% compound interest. So amount of A is equal to amount of B. What do you mean by amount? Just now we have seen, right? Principal of A into 1 plus R. What is R? Same 5%. 5 by 100 to the power of T. See, time for A is 3 years. Right? After 3 years equals to amount for B is PB into 1 plus 5 by 100 whole power of time for B is what? 5 years, because he will attain the age of 18 after 5 years. So after 5 years, his amount will be equal to the amount of A after 3 years. Simplify this. So 1 plus 500 whole power 3 gets cancelled how many times here? This will give you square. So we can say PA by PB equals to, how much is this? 1 plus 5 by 10 whole square, or 105 by 100. 1 plus 5 by 100 whole square, 105 by 100, or 21 by 20, 21 by 20, 21 by 20 whole square, or this is like 441 by 400. You know PA by PB ratio. You also know PA plus BB is 42,000. Can you solve? He's asking us to find the share of B. So what will be PB? I'm writing the next step here. PB will be equal to 400 parts out of 400 plus 441, 841 parts into the amount 42,000. Simplify. Is that clear? 105 by 100, 21 by 20, 441 by 400. PA by PB, the ratio is this. So amount obtained by A, is 400 by 841. 400 parts out of 841 parts. Multiplied with the total amount. See, the total amount is 42,000 because remaining 42,000 of this man was distributed between PA and PB. Right? Simplify and we'll get the answer. Got this? Vamshi Krishna. Clear? Vamshi, if you can acknowledge, we will close the session here. Vamshi, is it clear? Vamshi, waiting for you to respond. Rishabh says no. What didn't you follow, Rishabh? Tell me, what is the confusion? What have you not followed here? I don't think the answer will be 20,000. Many of you are saying it is 20,000. How will it be 20,000? It will not give you an integer value, right? If it was 840 maybe, but it is not 840, it is 841. Approximately 20,000 we can say. Approximately 20,000. So I think Vamshi Krishna has left. So I will close it here. I'm sure others have followed it. Yes, I think others have all followed it. So shall we close it here? I think yes, we'll close it here. And let me get back to the screen. Now I'm just looking at the next question. The next question is posted by Murli, which reads, a sum of money at simple interest triples itself in 15 years. It will become 5 times of itself. Now, Murli, if you watch the simple and compound interest video, you will not post such question, right? I understand. My fault that I couldn't take up your query in this limited time, but you don't even have to post such questions if you really follow the video properly. How did you get 40,000? Vinay Kumar, 40,000, 42,000 because 50% he said he's given to his wife, remaining 50%. So 50% of 84,000 is 42,000. Okay. Now I am looking at Murli's question. A sum of money at simple interest triples itself in 5 years. Triples itself in 5 years means what? P becomes 3P. 3P in 15. Are you able to follow? P becomes 3P in 15 years. That means how much is the interest? Interest earned is 2P. 200%. 200% in 15 years. Now it will become 5 times itself. 5 times itself is what? P should become 5P. P should become 5P means interest is how much? 4P. So 2P in 15 years, 4P in 30 years. As simple as that. We have discussed this. I mean, not exactly the same question, but such questions in our video. Now look at Chirag Verma. Chirag Verma was the next one who said a trader has 130 kg of pulses, part of which he sells at 12% profit and the rest at 25% profit. He gains some profit on the whole. What is the quantity he sold at? 25% profit. This is a question from allocations and mixtures. If you have watched the allocations and mixtures video, you will not post it here. So my only concern is you guys, without watching the video, post the questions here. Don't do that. Watch the video yourself and then give it a try. Without trying it yourself 2-3 times, don't post it, right? See, the problem is solving it. But if I solve this one, those who know the solution are feeling that this is easy. Easy for Chirag. That is the reason he has posted it here. It was not easy for Murli. That is the reason he has posted it here. Not easy for whatever reason. He has not watched the video. He did not follow the video. He is not good in that topic and all that, right? So I think that is about it. Maybe if you look at your question once again, you'll be able to solve, right? There's nothing new that we have discussed ever in our doubts clarification sessions, right? Same concept. Whatever concepts you have discussed in the videos will be useful in answering all the questions here. Now, that is it. So let me close the session here. I know many of you are disappointed because your turn has not come, but I am like helpless. I mean, I wish I could do really quick and solve more number of questions. Now, before we leave for the day, I would like to share a very important announcement. It is because of this difficulty. It is because of this disappointment that we face from you, especially the disappointment that I face. I have to see from your end because of limited time for doubt clarification sessions. We have taken a decision, right? A decision which I'm sure all of you would appreciate, and that is we are tripling the number of doubts clarification sessions that we have per week. I repeat, we are simply tripling the number of doubt clarification sessions that we have per week. So far, you guys had clarification per week, right? Or I would say one problem solving session per week. But from next week onwards, immediately from the next week onwards, you will have 3 doubts clarification sessions per week. And the only reason for doing this is to ensure that we can solve more number of questions in these sessions, right? Through these sessions, we can clarify more number of doubts. I don't say that every doubt will get clarified after making it 3 times. No, maybe more questions coming, right? You can see the flood of questions that we have, right? Even after making it 3 sessions, maybe some of you will be disappointed, but I'm sure less number of students will get disappointed when compared to what is happening today. Now, what is the solution? Maybe we should do it 5 times a week. Maybe we should do it 7 times a week, or maybe 14 times a week. We should have 2 sessions per day. Will that help? No. I mean, it's like a never-ending process, right? It'll go on and on and on. I'm sure if you seriously follow the video, if you are thorough in your concept, if you solve the questions from workbook, and then look at the question that you have posted, you'll not even have to post a single question. One doubt clarification session a week is actually sufficient if you are thorough in the concept. But like I've shown you through all these questions today, posted by you, that it is because you did not watch the video, you are finding it difficult. You're able to follow what I'm saying. So I think that's a good news. I hope all of you will appreciate that, right? We are only hoping that things will get better after this. So please share your valuable feedback. I know a lot of feedback has come about posting the questions in advance. We should be allowed to post the questions offline so that you can look at it and then solve. We have tried all those things. Maybe you have tried all those things over last 2 years. Every solution has a bunch of people which are left disappointed. Gets a bunch of people who say, no, this is not good for me. You're getting it. Like for example, every person should post not more than 2 questions. I'm sure. Pradeep and Richa and who else? Ramchandra. We feel disappointed. Why not more than 2 questions? I have 3 doubts. Why should I not post the 3rd question? Right? You're getting it. The other solution somebody posted was, why don't we allow you to post questions offline 1 day before? The problem is I have to choose the questions then. If you have to post the questions 1 day before, same number of questions will come. 200 questions will come. Can I solve 200 questions in 2 hours? No. I'll have to choose. Now, the questions which have not been chosen, those guys will feel disappointed. Why didn't you choose my question? See, choosing the questions for me is very, very difficult, right? Because you would want me to choose only the difficult ones, but that's difficult for me, right? I don't know what is easy and what is difficult, if you really ask me. Everything is easy actually, right? So anyway, the point that I was trying to make is 3 doubts clarification sessions per week, but this does not mean that one session on reasoning and 1 session on English language. No. The number of doubts clarification sessions per subject will also differ. We'll have more sessions on quantitative aptitude, lesser number of sessions on reasoning, and least number of sessions on English language. Because what we have observed is the number of doubts that students generally have in English language are comparatively much lesser when compared to quantitative aptitude. And similarly, reasoning is in between them, right? So accordingly, these sessions will be scheduled. If you observe, a new tab has been added in your quantitative aptitude course called calendar. You can refer to that calendar to know when is the next doubts clarification session, right? So that calendar has been updated. I request all of you to just go through that calendar and join us for these sessions accordingly, right? Please do not ask me what time, what date, and all that. Everything has been updated in the calendar. Which calendar? Not the events calendar. Events calendar will get updated shortly. But inside the quant course, you will find one page called calendar. Inside the reasoning course, you will find one page called calendar. Again, inside the English language course, there is one page called as calendar. So you can just follow that and join these sessions. SSC students have their own calendar. Bank exam students have their own calendar, right? Remember, triple the number of sessions for banking students. Now, this will disappoint the SSC guys. Like I said, Everything has a challenge, right? So please refer your respective calendars, right? SSC guys have a different calendar, banking guys have a different calendar. So follow that accordingly. Follow that and accordingly join for our sessions. Please share your valuable feedback, which is going to be more of negative, I know, because you're turned income, but I'll see you all in the next session. The next session is, okay, check the calendar and we'll get to go. Thank you all for participating in this session. Please don't feel disappointed. Try it yourself and I'm sure you'll be able to do it, right? Give it just one more try. Thank you. Keep practicing and take very good care of yourselves.